Living here in Jersey, fighting villains from afar. You gotta find first gear in your giant robot car. You dig giant robots, I dig giant robots, we dig giant robots, chicks dig giant robots. Nice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Anime Boomers podcast. We are back. You know, it wasn't that long ago that we were doing the last episode with Michael Alberto. We were covering the Crunchyroll Awards, and we will be back to cover the actual event. I think it's at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Not this weekend, but I think next weekend or something along those lines. No, I think it is next weekend. So look forward to that. You're going to get a lot of Anime Boomers content in a very short amount of time. It's kind of weird. I'll also be making my return to semi-regular streaming. The expansion for Destiny 2, Lightfall, will be coming out on Tuesday. I probably won't stream it Tuesday night because I'm sure the servers are going to be an absolute disaster. So I wouldn't expect it on Tuesday. Maybe like a Friday or something along those lines. But wow, it has been a very eventful week, at least for me. I don't know if you guys noticed it. You see in the corner, the left-hand side there, twitter.com/thegatorgamer. That's right. Woo! I actually got my Twitter account reinstated. Thank you, based Elon Musk, for
Thank you, Elon Sama.
Thank you, Elon Sama, for gifting me my account back with my 6,000 plus subscriber. So thank you so much for that. And all of my DMs with all these other content creators and things, I finally have all of that stuff back. So now I can actually do some real booking like I used to do back before I got banned off of everything. That's right. I got my clout coins back, everybody. I got my clout coins back. And the person talking is, of course, my longtime co-host, Spooky Weep Trash. How you doing, Spooky?
I'm your local Hufflepuff here to huff and puff on some dick. Am I right? I don't know.
Is that all Hufflepuffs do? Because, like, Gryffindor just gets into fights. Ravenclaw's really smart. Slytherin is, like, I guess evil.
Yeah, they're the bullies. Here's the thing, like, Hufflepuff, they just kind of exist. They're really good at sports. That's what they, keen on. But they're kind of just goofy. They're kind of just there. They kind of just be kind of the jokesters or whatever.
They remind me of the people who just are constantly permanently friend zoned.
Yeah,
like that. That's the Hufflepuffs.
They're not the main character. They're like a side character. Like hey, look, Robert Pattinson was a Hufflepuff, okay, and he died.
Are you saying Hufflepuffs are NPCs? Is that what you're saying?
No. The NPCs are Ravenclaw because they don't say in the main books and story, they don't really do much. Hufflepuffs, they just chill. They're like the cool guys. They're the kind of guys that brings extra beer to the party. That's Hufflepuffs.
So they're the potheads. That's Hufflepuff.
Hey, hell yeah, that would be Hufflepuffs.
And I guess it makes sense with the name.
Clown, that would be Hufflepuffs.
God, I hate all of you.
And joining us as well, you just heard him, Magog of Morskar, the host of Side Quest on the Wicked Guild channel. This is something that Spooky and Michelle they take part in as well. How are you doing, Magog?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm not doing my character though.
He's out of character.
Yeah, I'm out of character. You fucks. I'm done.
There we go.
That's all you're getting for me. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
And we also
to meet all of you.
And we also have Lofti Pixels, who's making his return to the show, fashionably late.
Late and Lofty. How you doing?
Late and Lofty, that's right.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, I've been on. It's been a while. But I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it has been a hot minute. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and start out talking about the Harry Potter stuff.
Super hot minute. What? I'm sorry.
You're getting horny already? We haven't even been on live for 10 minutes. You're already getting fucking horny? Oh, God.
I get so riled up when that live button goes on.
I need to fucking get out the spray bottle. Stop it.
Gotta love that live stream juices.
Really gets the mojo going.
Ripping your door.
Yeah, baby. Oh, yeah.
He's going
Harry
to
Potter
slither in.
Slytherin, yeah. I'm not a big fan of Harry Potter, and one of the biggest gripes I have is from the outset. Harry Potter's like richer than everybody, and yet he still lives with his abusive aunt and uncle.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that he's rich, though. Like,
bullshit. The very first movie.
10.
No, the very first movie, Hagrid takes him to that vault, and he's got a pile of gold his parents left him. The moment that happened, I'd been like, I'm buying a castle.
I don't think he could buy a castle. I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
I don't give a shit.
I don't know how homeowners' license work in the wizarding world, but I'm sure there's some kind of age restriction there.
No, he lived with regular people. Okay, when you're that rich, if your parents leave you that kind of inheritance, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can file for like a new foster home or something. Like when you got money greases wheels, damn it. If you walk into a judge's chamber and put a big pile of gold coins, he just continued to live with his abusive aunt and uncle for like...
Well, okay, so to be fair, until like pretty much the third book onward, he pretty much spent every summer with the Weasleys. Because he didn't like the Dudleys. Okay, so he spent with the Weasleys pretty much every summer, like book 3 onward.
I'm just saying, I would have hired like a hitman. You know? Like the... I
mean, he did turn
Dursleys would have been... the Dursleys would have been like in a car accident.
Or you could just jobber their fucking ass and just, R.I.P.
I want that in the video game. Can we like assassinate people?
There is in the video game. You can kill a lot of people as a child in the video game.
Yeah, there's like a handgun mod
with the other students in the castle. You can't do anything. I want to levitate people and throw them against walls and shit.
There's a hand job mod?
No, handgun mod.
Oh, I was totally thinking something else, dude.
People have been modding in all kinds of stuff, like lightsabers, handguns.
Mm-hmm.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Well, we're only talking about it because there was like a big controversy. They didn't want you to play this game. They don't want you to support J.K. Rowling and her transphobic views.
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody is. Yeah, everybody's gotten so upset about it. Wait, you got canceled?
And I have right here. Oh,
I didn't get canceled, but I meant to say I got a bunch of weirdos in my comments. You know what they did? They spoiled the ending for me. Like, I'm talking like 50 times. People just commenting, whatever the fuck that happens in the end of I'm not going to spoil it, but they're just, these trolls coming in because they hate that I'm playing it. And that's what they do. They spoil the ending.
But how do they know the ending if they didn't, unless they played it? Isn't that
probably just watch a YouTube video, I assume.
It's just rude to spoil an ending I don't even care if I hate somebody. I'm not going to spoil an ending to the game they want to play. That's horrible.
Yeah, but they did that when the books came out. Do you guys remember way back in the day, the viral videos?
I remember.
Of people driving by the Barnes & Noble with like a line of people waiting to get the next Harry Potter movie.
Attention, Barnes & Noble!
Like, Snape kills Dumbledore, and then drives off real fast. And it's like, everybody just starts screaming and crying.
Yeah, that's trolling. This is different. This is like pure malice, hatred towards people playing the game. It's like, it's not, it's so evil. These people are stupid.
So these people would be Slytherins, is what you're saying?
Yep.
Unironically.
Jesus, spooky.
What? I can only compare things to like, my real situations to like fantasy stuff, okay? That's how I cope with everything.
She can only compare things to Harry Potter and Star Wars, just like foreign countries now, apparently.
Just read more than one book, for fuck's sake. That's what I...
Everybody's either Darth Vader or Obi-Wan.
What's funny, because ever since J.K. Rowling got on the bad side of the alphabet community, a lot of the stuff that she created you go back 10 years, everything was Harry Potter, right? And now even like the official Quidditch League, yes, they actually play Quidditch, Like they run around with sticks between their legs, and there's like a guy with a ball hanging off of his waist. He's the.
And they're all fat for whatever reason. I don't know why fat nerds
they're all like
sports.
It's like a nerd sport that's played on a soccer field when like real football isn't going on, and the official Quidditch League of England has separated itself from J.K. Rowling, and it's like she invented it, you dumb shits. Like you can't just come out and be like, this is ours now, right?
So
I mean, I had this similar conversation about the Matrix when they came out and started getting pissed at people for using the term red pill, and like now they kind of claim that it was a semi transparent trans allegory the whole time.
Oh god.
And it's just like I'm not gonna like, I still like the Wachowskis. I'm not gonna be like, I disown the Wachowskis. I'm not gonna mention their name ever again. I don't give a shit. But I disagree with them about the movie and the
I mean, he didn't change his gender when he like woke up from the Matrix. So like that's kind of the biggest, like, if it was about transgenderism, you think he'd be a woman, right? Like, but he wasn't.
Yeah, the Matrix is open to various interpretations, but a lot of people now are saying that the Matrix is a trans allegory exclusively, and it's just like, no. The people, even the directors, were like, when they were asked the question that Lily or Larry, or I think it's a Lily Wachowski, but he was like, or they were like,
you just say he?
No, I wasn't. Yeah, they were like, I wasn't trans at the time of directing it. It was subconscious, but I was more like making an allegory of the cave, kind of like, simulation theory movie. At the time, he corrected the woke people asking him the question. So even the directors disagree with this narrative.
Yeah, I don't disown the Kowalskis because they're trans. I disown them because they are shit writers.
But like Harry Potter, like Rowling now is like not like she's not allowed to do any public appearances. She's effectively been socially canceled. I mean,
she's got buckets of money, but other than that, right? Yeah, she's got more money than God, but she just can't go anywhere.
She can't do any reunion shit. Like, that's the definition of canceling, really. I mean, it's not about the money. It's about having a voice and like your own creation being taken away from you. That is the definition of canceling.
Yeah, even HBO did that big like live like reunion show of all the Harry Potter cast and crew, and she wasn't invited. Like, it's like she fucking created it. But they, like, all the actors, people who've made millions of dollars off of her creation and created an entire, career off of it, were like, no, we can't associate with her anymore because she said women have vaginas.
Yeah, not all the actors. There was one that defended her.
But one of the Jason Isaacs. It's Jason Isaacs. I guarantee it's Jason Isaacs.
It was one of the girls. It was the girl that was like a crazy girl in the movie.
Oh, the Ivana Lynch who played Luna Lovegood. Yeah.
I think it's her.
I didn't know. Like, I know Jason Isaacs don't give a shit. Like I've seen something about him. Ray Fiennes.
Yeah, Ray Fiennes, I think, also defended her a little bit in some situations.
I think of the older actors like Ray Fiennes, Jason Isaacs, people like that, or they come from a different generation and they're not necessarily like, oh, I'm with her, but they'll come out and be like, everybody calm down, differing opinions exist in the world, and then everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking? Go back to your cave, boomer, and it's like, okay, whatever.
Helena Bonham Carter was also defending her. She was like, "You don't have to agree on everything. It would be boring if we all agreed on everything." That's what Helena Bonham Carter said about J.K.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, she's based.
Yeah, I mean, she was. I don't know if she's, changed her mind because of the woke mob got after her. I don't. That was in 2022, but
it's weird that that's a based point of view. Though.
I know.
Everybody should just be like, everybody calm down. We can still get along.
It's so gay that we have to be like, oh, it's based because someone's normal, like
reasonable.
What?
Yeah.
Why is that based?
Yeah. You're based because you don't hate people who have different opinions than you. Like, that's so fucking bizarre. We're living in bizarro world now. What a stupid time to be alive.
Also, how have you guys seen all the anti-Semitism, like retroactive postmodernist like interpretations of Harry Potter?
Why? Because of the goblins and the green guy.
goblins.
It's exactly because of the goblins.
What?
You've seen that, right?
Yeah,
No.
people have been calling it
articles.
anti-Semitic all of a sudden.
Oh,
Like
because
years
goblins have
Well, my
pointed
question is,
noses and they
Have
work
lots
in a
of
bank.
money. Work at a
they look-
bank.
Yep, they look like the caricatures of the some of the
Mm.
characters of the Jews, and then they have the money in the. But the
In the
point is,
negative propaganda, right? It's the old Shylock, the Shakespearean Shylock
right,
propaganda.
Shylock,
Yeah.
the big nose.
Yeah.
But like, my question is, where were these people 10 years ago when the book was selling like record-breaking numbers? Where were they then? Buying the books, probably.
The
Where
movement
were they
hadn't
like when the
started.
first book came out? Like in what was it, 1999 when the first one came out?
Were the movies,
Yeah.
or when the movies were coming out? Where were they? Going to see
And
them twice.
You know, J.K.
theaters.
Rowling, and I hate to say this because I'm totally with her, and congratulations on her success and blah blah blah, all that stuff. I don't hate the woman, but I will say this: she totally ripped off The Worst Witch. The Worst Witch. It was a fucking children's movie from the 80s with Fairuza Balk, and Tim Curry was in it. And it was about a young girl who finds out she's a witch and goes off to a witch academy. And then she gets in all kinds of trouble because she's not very good at magic.
Well, that's okay. I mean, George Lucas ripped off Akira Kurosawa. It doesn't bother me.
No, I'm just
all
pointing it
time.
out for people who didn't know and who's never
Oh,
seen
yeah.
The Worst Witch. I mean, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, so that was a childhood movie of mine. But it's like, I mean, all stories have been told, right? I'm not saying there's no originality to Harry Potter. I'm just pointing out that The Worst Witch with Fairuza Balk is like pretty much like the first book. It's Harry Potter. Look how
I do
young
that a
she
lot.
is, too. Oh my god. Gator pulled it up. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
1986. I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, the funny part is Tim Curry plays the Grand Wizard or whatever. He's like Dumbledore, essentially, right?
He's gay Dumbledore. Oh wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
It has some of the worst like green screen CGI music number. He's like got this terrible like green outline. You ever see somebody's like bad green screen on like OBS and there's like artifacting around their head?
Yeah.
It looks like that. Like you could search on YouTube for the Tim Curry musical number from Worst Witch, and it's the funniest thing you'll ever see because it looks like a bad 80s music video, and he's anything could happen on Halloween, and he's singing with that Tim Curry voice, and it cracks me up every time I see it.
See, now that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna watch this movie now.
It's straight 80s cheese, man. It's schlock. It's pure fucking schlock.
See, I'm learning things today. Movies that came out before I was even born. That fantastic 80s cheese.
Yeah, but
cheesiest decade.
Oh,
it was, and I love it.
I love it. To this day, I'd rather watch any like bad 80s B movie over the shit that's coming out of like Disney Plus and Netflix these days, right? Just give me some old school 80s schlock any day.
I still watch a lot of old stuff. Yeah.
So, speaking of Harry Potter, so there's a VTuber drama that's been spurring up this past a week or two?
It's been about a week or two. VTubers are kind of like the big new sensation now. They've really come on strong over the last like year and a half or so, and they've become more mainstream.
We have a VTuber in here.
I have a theory. Can I interrupt just a second? I think VTubers' popularity grew because the technology started allowing for physics. If you get what me,
I agree.
Actually,
bouncing physics really helps with the VTubers.
You can see a very basic prototype version of this kind of like technology, like on like what was it, Gorillaz album, the Return album. Well, I don't know why I'm brain farting on it.
Well, yeah, they did it. Gorillaz had millions of dollars
2017
to do it live. Yeah, the Gorillaz performed live.
Yeah. No. This is like a shitty music video they did. You remember that Lofty when it was like Tootie and Noodle dancing in like the...
was that the Now or What album was that?
It was I don't know why I can't remember.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It's their fucking abysmal 2017 return album, Humans. Oh
yeah.
It was a Humans music video, but which one was it? Where you can see just how awful it is.
Well, the popularity of VTubers, because the technology became accessible, it's a good thing when technology, and it still allows you to be anonymous without, but you can have a little more flair than a profile image, right? But that being said, I want to give a shout out to Ghastly over at Gulf City. He's been doing the VTuber thing way before everybody else.
That's a good point.
That dude has been doing
forever
motion capture for a long time.
Yeah, Gorilla Sleeping Powder. You can see just how fucking awful that technology was. But that was from 5 years ago. 6 years ago, I think, actually.
Dude, the Gorillas, just speaking of, just a quick tangent, they released a new album. It's amazing. This week or last week.
Cracker Island.
And Silent Running is one of their best music videos ever. Just go watch it. It's amazing. But yeah, really cool 3D animation. I don't know, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I like this new album a lot. Cracker Island, yeah.
It's a lot better than Humans, that's for sure. Holy shit.
Yep.
I wanted to kill Humans so much. It's an abysmal album. But yeah, you can see like a very prototype version of this, and then obviously with like new VTuber stuff, they can get any piece of their body to move. It's almost like puppet animation. So it's like any piece of their body can be puppeted to whatever they want to do.
Yeah, it's some strong technology, man. That AI, facial recognition and motion capture and all that stuff. It's pretty cool shit. It used to cost Hollywood millions to do that kind of shit. Go back to Lord of the Rings, the motion capture on Gollum alone. That was like brand new technology Andy Serkis's company invented for that movie. Now anybody can do it on their fucking iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it costs a lot of money for these things. I have a free VTuber rig that I use on my streams, but these things cost like $2,000 for like.
Yeah, that's for the rigs. I'm talking about the technology, right?
Oh yeah,
it's just you can do it from your phone now, but back in the day, it cost Hollywood millions to do. Now, to pay an artist to give you a good avatar that's rigged and mapped for your, for the motion capture, that's gonna cost some money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
True. That's why and not only that, you have to get put on a wait list because there's too many people asking for commissions, and it's just like, well, everybody wants to be a VTuber.
Yeah, it's the new hotness.
Wait list.
Make your own. I got Photoshop.
Right.
I figured that shit out.
Mine's kind of shitty. I don't know, Spooky. What do you think of mine? It's kind of like lame.
It looks pretty basic. It reminds me of the one that PewDiePie made when he was just shit posting that one time. He was like, hey guys, I'm going to make a VTuber model.
I'm going to make a VTuber.
Yeah. I like mine because I can put on all kinds of different shirts and hats and stuff, but that's about it. But it's called Vroid. If anyone's curious, Vroid is free. It's free.
Now, is it a boy or a girl? Because it's clearly based off of your little noodle profile pic you have here.
Yeah, it's
like a genderless thing.
I know, it's androgynous. Well, Noodle's a girl technically, but
technically Noodle is a girl.
She's very tomboy.
She is very tomboy. Yes.
Yeah, people when the Now came out, there was a song called Trans, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Noodle's trans now." I'm like, "Oh, shut the fuck up."
Oh no.
The song is called Trans. It's not about trans people.
Yeah, I mean, that does happen though. Like some music artists, like I know they're kind of an underground band, but they're called Steam Powered Giraffe. I know one of their lead singers switched genders, became
the other
female, had the surgery. Yeah. All that. They were twins too, so the two brothers, one of them went female. So
somehow that band doesn't surprise me that one of them became trans.
They're based out of California, and they're very artistic. You guys know what I mean by that, right? Like it's that whole
autistic,
pretentious art crowd type. I love their music though. I'm not talking shit. You can do whatever you want as long as you're not.
I just associate them. I associate them mostly with like conventions because they mostly perform. Well, they can do their own performance, but I mostly convention them with like the kind of people that would go to steampunk convention, anime convention, that kind of
Yeah, they play to
Crowd.
those crowds. Yeah, and they do some pretty interesting live shows, though. I guess, what really made them interesting is their face paint and how they painted themselves up to look like steam-powered robots, and the way they perform, they use mime,
Yeah.
like dance
So
moves.
Silvervale got bullied by and well, what do you guys think of this whole Silvervale thing? Because would you do you think I don't want to be sexist, but do you think that the only people I've ever seen cry on screen are like girl streamers? I don't know what it is. Is there spooky? Tell me I'm.
Well, I mean,
an
I've
idiot,
seen Wings
but-
of Redemption cry, so
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
I've seen
DSP cried,
I've
like,
seen grown ass men on YouTube cry when they got a play.
What was that one guy who cried about the jerking off to AI porn the other week? Yeah,
was that DSP?
Guy. It's a DSP.
No, you know what I mean though. Like, when they're like, I understand they are being bullied technically by a bunch of crazy people, but like, why? I don't know why people feel like they have to like emotionally break down on camera because their chat is annoying. Like,
Well, hold
don't
on.
get
First of all, play this video and like just look how silly it is that when is this the one where she's crying? Gator specifically?
no, I think this is the one where she's like fuck them or whatever.
Okay. So before we should give context to this, in case someone doesn't know. So like Silvervale, VTuber, we are Vshoujo. We do not stand. We hate Vshoujo in this house, but she blocked me in my Twitter because I made fun of her, and she got made fun of back because she wanted to play the wizard game, Hogwarts Legacy, and what do you know? A bunch of people that are, of course, these are English VTuber fans, specifically came after her because she's like anti-trans rights. To the point, even her like fellow Vshoujo co-host, co-worker, I don't know exactly what you would call it, Fruit, the one that cheated on her husband, made a late to donation to mermaids, like the trans kids organization, out of spite towards Silvervale because she wanted to play the Hogwarts Legacy game.
Yeah, it's not so fun when your side turns on you, is it?
No.
This
It's not so fun when they come for you.
But the thing is this only would happen with English-speaking VTubers like this, like Silverville. This does not happen to like the JP side, like at all.
That's because England is like hardcore right now about the like.
No, English. I meant like Western VTubers,
like Japan,
not English.
She's trying to say Japan doesn't give a fuck about like woke shit. They make fun of it. They say.
Yeah,
they say the N-word.
Japan gives no fucks.
Yeah.
That's what really blew up VTubing. Actually, was Sakura Miko playing GTA 5, and she got to the scene with Lamar and Franklin, and she said it. It was a soft day, but she said it.
She's hilarious.
Look, all the JP VTubers have the N-word pass, okay? Because they say it so adorably. You can't take it seriously.
You can't be mad at that.
I don't even know what they're doing. Nope.
But if you play this video of her crying, you'll see, Lofty, why it's so ridiculous you can't even take it seriously. So go ahead and play it, Gator.
And harassment and doxing and people doxing my friends and like so much horrible, vile things, all from streaming a fucking video game.
Now pause. I can't believe this pair of tits smiling at me is crying at me at the same time.
It's really throwing me off here.
Ironic. I guess, are people saying that she's playing, or she's joking, or she's doing this ironically? Is that what you're saying? Or it's just funny to look at because of the character?
No, because the avatar is like smiling and there's giant boobs bouncing and she's crying.
I know. That's hilarious. It's so weird. It's like the uncanny. But like, why? So is she actually like crying here, do you think?
I don't know. I think all these people are sociopaths, so it's hard for me to take any of them seriously. So
maybe if we play more of the clip, we'll get like the heel turn where she's just like, it was a joke. I'm actually not sad at all. Let's see.
Well, it depends on it. It depends on if her claim is true or not. Like, even if she's faking it, if she was doxxed for playing a video game,
right?
That's fucking stupid. Like, why is this happening? Why do we live in a world where you can be doxxed and swatted for playing a fucking video game?
It's absolutely crazy. It's just a stupid video game. Like, it doesn't matter. J.K. Rowling is not getting like a shitload of money from this one particular game. She's already got a fortune. Yeah. You're not going to stick it to her by going after anybody that's playing this game. You're not going to actually accomplish anything.
Yeah, but Gator, they shift the goalposts. So they start talking about the money. They're like, "Oh, don't give money to J.K. Rowling." And I go, "Well, she already has $1 billion. What's this game going to do? Nothing." And then they go,
"What's $60 compared to $1 billion?"
Yeah, but then they go, "Oh, but this is reinforcing her message." And so they shift the goalposts from the money to the message, and then they go to the Jewish thing, and then like they keep shifting every time you call them stupid and like make them look dumb. They shift the goalpost to like some other dumb thing.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Well, they'll never be satisfied.
If you want to know what
Vouch, did you watch the Vouch? Oh, sorry.
It's right out of the Orwellian playbook.
Well,
right.
The thing is, the truth is, where J.K. Rowling makes her reoccurring money is somewhat through book sales, mostly through the Orlando Universal and like the Hogwarts area, and Pottermore. So she makes a percentage from Universal and Pottermore. So I don't think she even makes money from this game at all. To be fair, I don't think that even for like lore or anything or writing.
Yeah, she didn't have anything to do with this game. Did you see the Vouch debate where he's debating somebody, an trans activist about this, and he destroyed her, and she's cried on his stream, and then she left, and then his chat was like, "You were mean to her," and he was like, care? Why don't she doesn't deserve my respect just because she's a part of the LGBT? Like, you know, he kind of was, I don't know, that's kind of a based interview. You should watch it. Because he said, he was like, look, this is the dumbest boycott in maybe the history of the LGBT movement, because not only did it backfire tremendously and make the game twice as popular, it made the left as a whole look crazy because they were like capitulating to the like these whiny like weirdos. And Valve was like, yeah, anyway.
I get what you're saying, but then like a week later, Velma happened.
Oh yeah,
and that made the left the Hogwarts thing happened before Velma. Because Velma happened, and all of a sudden it was like Velma was so bad, the left had been saying it's a right-wing psyop.
I did see that. That was amazing.
Like even people, like even the woke people can't defend how bad Velma is. So it's like if they had just ignored this video game's existence, a week later they would have moved on to something else. Like that's the problem with these like little like hyperbolic movements.
Okay,
right?
But the thing is, how many show of hands, gentlemen? How many of you guys have actually played the Hogwarts game? How many?
I'm raising my Ravenclaw right now.
I don't.
Okay.
I have it, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet because I've been so busy.
Okay, so as far as like the LGBT thing or like the diversity thing, there's a trans person at the very start of the game. They're what was it? A innkeeper. There's a black girl named Natty.
In the whole game. Yeah.
And not me, but certain individuals I know have been calling her Nappy instead of Natty.
God.
That's a terrible name for a black character. Why would you name a black character Natty?
I actually think she's one of the better characters. The other ones are really annoying. Oh my god.
Dude, Sebastian Salo's the most base one, okay? He's the most useful. Yeah. He teaches you curses. All he wants to do is save his sister. What was it? The diverse. Oh, there's a lesbian architect kind of person. I don't know what her official name was.
They have a married couple. A married couple. You have to. Her wife is somewhere in there. You have to go. I don't like they're separated for some reason. Are we talking about the same person?
It's one of the gay things like about the gay things about the actual game are all things. If you had to sell it to where being gay is illegal, or maybe we'll get you in trouble, you could easily change the dialogue or change the voices. It's just a little bit. to where it wouldn't fucking matter. But it's still, this game still panders pretty hard to like that kind of woke crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's pandering.
No,
I don't know.
like all games, like you could go all the way back to Skyrim. You can marry whoever you want. Like you can be male, female.
But the thing is like, but the thing is like it's written in like the characters and they're trans and they're gay or whatever, where it doesn't fucking matter. Like it truly doesn't matter. Like the change of the character, they only did it just so they can like check it off. The diversity that hired the game.
It's tokenism as opposed to true representation.
Right.
No, I disagree. Because I think true representation is straight up just normalizing it, where you don't like pretend it's like some kind of like you're super duper special. You have to advertise how gay the game is. And
but
I think this game
like, why
didn't do that.
Okay.
It just the character just happens to be gay. It's like straight up like just a normal character. I think that's.
But it doesn't feel important though. Like it doesn't feel like, well, why even make them gay? Like why even bring up their sexuality though? Like why even do it if it means so little? Like why even point it out? Like that's my thing.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
yes, and it depends on how you do it. Like look at Dragon Age Inquisition. Dorian was gay, right? And he had a little side mission where you had to like talk to his father, and his father hated on him because
it's gay. Written in the game.
It's part of the game. It's like written into that character, and you have to help him kind of get over his falling out with his father if you do that side mission. If you don't do that side mission, he's just a cool character to like run around with, right? Like,
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I just don't think this game goes nearly like too far to be like considered woke. But like, I see what you're saying, Spooky. Some of the dialogue maybe a little bit.
It matters. So the thing is like what I consider pandering versus like good writing or like incorporated writing is like, is it writing enough to where if I tried selling this game to, let's say, China, I could just write this character or just edit out their dialogue so that doesn't fucking matter. And that's what it feels like in this game. Like the lesbian character, she doesn't have to bring up the fact that she's lesbian. She could just easily change it to a man. No. The trans character, they could easily have it to like an actual biological woman voicing it. So like
but you're also, Spooky, you're also not going to put like sex scenes in a Harry Potter game. Is for fucking kids.
No. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying put sex scenes. I'm saying like the dialogue itself. So like the character who's trans, right, does not bring up the fact that she's trans. It's just you could tell it has a deep voice, right? And then the fact is, if you wanted to sell this game to Russia or China, all they would have to do is change the voice actress into like an actual woman and not change the dialogue, the written dialogue. Or with a lesbian character, all you would have to do is edit out the fact that she mentioned the stuff that she was gay or married to a woman. Because it means that little in the actual plot and the character itself. Yeah,
sure. So it feels a little shoehorned in, but they're going to do that.
But in that case, I would say it's only woke then if they actually do that. If they tell China to fuck off, then I would say, wow, good for them.
They're not going to do that though. That's the thing.
But that's what I mean. Like if then it would be pandering if that's what they do. If they straight up delete a character's dialogue or something, that would be pandering. I agree.
If you have to change your original creation to fit different markets because you're too cowardly to stand by your own principles, then you don't have any principles.
But
that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like their sexuality doesn't feel important enough to bring it up, but also like it doesn't feel like if they're gonna inevitably sell this to Russia and China at one point, because I assume there's like Chinese wizard stuff, and like I'd imagine because it's a huge market, that they're just gonna dub over the part that she doesn't mention she's trans. They're just going to give her a biological woman, and they're just going to ignore the fact that it's a lesbian character because it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
like there's no kissing, there's no relationships. Not that it matters in a Harry Potter game, but like still, like it matters so little in these characters' history and their dialogue that it's like it's not. And when they're trying to sell the game to other countries, they're probably going to edit it out. Which like is the same thing that happens with Disney, right? Like it's like it's like they're adding these things. Like you guys know the Outward? Was it Outbound? What's that fucking movie called with like the two brothers living in the fantasy world?
Outward.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Onward. That's what it's called. Onward. Yeah. So like, there was a character that was a lesbian, and that mentioned they were like celebrating. It's like, oh, this lesbian character, and she
In
just
a
mentions
Pixar
her
movie.
wife.
Yeah, all she does is mention her wife. It's
And then, yeah, it means so little that it's like if when they inevitably redub it in Chinese or Russian, they're just going to make the character not mention the fact that she has a wife.
well,
Or
the
just
same thing happened in
husband.
Star Wars. That everybody was all here in the West. Everybody's like the first gay kiss in a Star Wars film, and it's like two characters in the background that they can easily cut out for Chinese audiences.
Yeah.
It's not even like two
I
main
actually-
characters, you know.
Yeah. I mean, this kind of ties into The Last of Us episode 3 a little bit, but I kind of give credit to Druckmann and the producers for not telling anyone that it's, oh, look how we're going to have a really, really gay episode next week. Tune into to our super LGBTQ plus episode. They kind of just like didn't tell anybody, and then just like the characters kind of existed and they happened to be gay. I don't know. I thought that was much handled better than it could have been.
I definitely
mean?
think that you could. I mean, there's the things like not all like writing gay characters in like a story means that it's woke. Like, of course not. Like, I mean, think how much anime shit has like homosexual stuff in it. Like, but it's one of those things where it's like is it written enough to where it feels like this character matters? Like, why, like, bring up their sexuality? It's like if someone was straight, bring up the fact that they like brunettes and they think brunettes are like the hottest thing, and it never gets brought up again. Like, why did you bring this up in the story? It doesn't fucking matter. Or is it enough to where if they're selling it to like countries where being gay is illegal, they're going to change the dialogue because it matters that little?
I just saw Knock at the Cabin. That's a good example of a movie where it's just it's integral to the characters and part of the story, and it's like kind of essential for them to be a gay couple, and they don't, it's not that they forced it into the story, it's just that's what the story is about. Like that, I thought that was a good example of inserting like you know, sexual like a gay couple into a Hollywood movie without pandering. That's just how I love that movie.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I want to address something in the chat. Frederick
Cabin's good.
Frederick
Oh, sorry.
1483 says, "I'm more offended by the African magic school where they don't even need wands." Is that true?
Yeah, it's
Like,
true.
what the fuck? I thought the wand was the whole.
That was the whole thing.
No.
Like unifying thing. Like even the Americans use fucking wands in the what is it, the Fantastic
nappy-headed.
Beasts and stuff.
The
Like,
nappy-headed
wait.
girl. She's from Nigeria, I think, right, Lofty?
And they don't need wands? Like what? What? Why?
Well,
Why do they
neither
not
does
need
Black
Neither
girl
wands?
does the
magic?
goblin.
Yeah, it's black girl.
Yeah. Oh, I don't
That's
know.
not fair.
Is that in the lore? Like, do we know? Because I'm not.
No,
an
she
expert.
says it. Like,
No, I
she's
mean, is that in? Did Rowling
In JK's,
say that in any
I
of her
don't
books?
even think she. I don't even think she
Oh.
wrote that.
I don't
Her
know.
book specifically took place in England, and it was very English culture.
Yeah.
Once the rights got converted to WB or Warner Brothers, they've been expanding on it so that they can incorporate multiple cultures and pander to multiple audiences. Right.
I
But
think
it-
so.
It's like-
There are examples of magic that can be done without wands, but if she's just like casting, like, you know, like any sort of spell without a wand, that might be a little bit excessive.
But they give her a wand because she's okay, so her mother, Nappy's mother, is the people, I'm forgetting the term for it, but she's the one that can predict the future. That's her mother. That's her profession. And so she's there at the school. So Hogwarts makes her use a wand because she's forced to go to Hogwarts because her mother works there now. So she's using a wand in the actual like game. But she's like, oh yeah, no, I could totally just not use a wand, whatever.
Yeah, someone in the
just a
chat
thing.
said
That's-
cantrips. Yeah, level 0 magic. You don't need a wand.
I mean, there are like I'm only basing it off the movies because I've seen the movies, but like there are certain magics that you can use without a wand, right? There's magical items, there's cursed artifacts, there's divination, you know, magic crystal balls and stuff. Not everything in Harry Potter is the wand, but to cast a spell, like especially defensive and offensive spells, you need a wand. I thought that was just part of the
Nope.
lore.
Yeah.
But Nappy, it's not like she don't have to lives in Nigeria, the Nigerian school. What I forget what it was called. There's also a Chinese school. believe there's one
What?
in America too.
I
Yeah,
want to know why
there's
there's no
one in
love
America.
for staffs. Like, God, it's Harry Potter. Like, why only
Well, hey,
one character
look,
in the
Gandalf.
whole of Harry Potter had
Look.
fucking staff?
Yeah, Gandalf didn't need his staff to perform magic either, but it channeled his abilities to like an extreme degree to the point where he didn't really do anything without it.
Yeah, well,
At least in the books, yeah.
it's supposed to be. I think in the Tolkien universe, a staff is supposed to be like a focuser, right? So that you can control the flow of magic, so it doesn't go everywhere, right?
Yep.
But you can still cast without it. Like Gandalf does plenty of magic without a staff. But in the Harry Potter universe, I only ever saw one character that didn't have a wand, and that was that crazy-eyed guy, the Mad-Eye Moody. He has more of a staff that he like slams on the ground and it casts spells. He has like a big walking stick, basically, because he's got a limp, you know? So his staff kind of doubles as like a cane, I guess.
Like a super wand.
But other than that, everybody had a fucking wand. Like literally everyone.
Do you wanna read super chats now, Gator? Since we've been live for almost an hour.
Yeah, let's do that. We actually got one right before the show started from RP for $10. Says, I haven't watched a whole lot of anime. The only two series I watched the whole way through were Soul Eater and GTO. Any suggestions for something a newbie might like that's not too long? I saw this suggestion in chat and I agree with it. Eminence and Shadow is a very recent one that just wrapped up its first season. Eminence and Shadow is great. I call it Autism in Shadow. Think of it this way. It's an isekai where the guy is basically super autist Batman, and his whole purpose is just he wants to be so strong and so tough that he can survive an atomic bomb.
He said like one of the animes he watched was great, Teacher Onizuka, right?
Yeah, GTO.
You might like the other meme anime. What was that one that's like full of the degenerates at school, and there's Freddie and Freddie Prinze, not Freddie Prinze Jr. Fuck,
You're thinking of
Freddie Mercury's
Freddie
there.
Mercury, yes.
Yeah. I have a recommendation for our friend in the chat since he donated money. It'll be hard to find. It's a little hard to find. But it's got like magic and all that stuff. It's called Bible Black, and it's really good. And it's a real. Shut up. So just Google that one. You'll have a good time.
The one you're thinking of is Cromartie High School.
Yeah, Cromartie High School. You'd probably really like Cromartie High School if you liked Great Teacher Onizuka.
What was his question? He's looking for an anime that's short. Is that what he wanted to know?
The short and similar, easy to watch. And his examples were Soul Eater and Great Teacher Onizuka.
Oh, like short, easy to watch. I would say Ranking of Kings, probably at least like the first season, 12 episodes. Not even, you know what I mean. And it's essential, I think, in my opinion. And then
Azumanga Daioh.
Well,
Samurai
that's
Champloo,
like 26 episodes. Samurai Champloo, I was about to say, yeah. That if you like Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo you should watch it.
Yeah. Outlaw Star is another short one. That's kind of fun.
Anime is like diverse. Like when I first, I have like a weird history with anime because like I watched it when I was a teenager, which of course was the 90s, right? So anime was definitely like nerd culture. Like you can't tell your friends about this; they'll make fun of you, right? It hadn't become mainstream like it is now, right? And I liked anime because I watched some really cool movies like Akira or Street Fighter 2, right? But then I kind of fell out of anime for many, many years because I went in the military and, and all that stuff. And I just kind of forgot about anime and that it even existed. And then I come back and I started a YouTube channel, became Magog. And people were really into anime. And I was like, wait a minute, anime? Yeah. Like when I was a kid, that shit would get your ass kicked. Right? like outside of like Pokemon and Dragon Ball, if you liked anime, like you were like super nerd, right? The jocks would shove you into a locker, right? Well, not me, because I'm bigger than all of them.
I was about to say, you couldn't fit in the locker. I couldn't fit in the locker either, so good luck.
Even as a teenager, I didn't get bullied a lot because I'm 6'3" and, like 240 pounds, So, but you get what I'm saying. Like it was super underground, right? Anime in the 90s. But then like I got back from the military and it was like everybody was into anime online and everybody was talking about it.
I think what happened was like Dragon Ball started getting into localization or whatever translated into English, and then that was a big one. But then the early 2000s, you had like Toonami, which I think Toonami and Adult
that
Swim
helped.
probably basically like quadrupled the population of people who watch anime.
But it's also just like a growing thing. Like people just started really appreciating the art form and the stories and stuff, right? Like it kind of grew naturally. But then I started checking out anime when I got back, and it was way different than the 90s. That 90s stuff would give you like a seizure, right? Like all the blinking lights and the crazy ass animation.
The old Pokemon Porygon episode that sent people to the hospital.
Right?
Yeah.
But then you watch this newer stuff, and the animation's so much smoother, and there's like, there's a lot more kind of added CGI effects mixed with traditional animation to make it a little bit more interesting to watch and stuff. So, I mean, I kind of got an eclectic blend of anime once I started getting back into it, and I can tell you, it's kind of strange going from watching things like Golgo 13, right? That was one of mine. Vampire Hunter D from the 90s.
Oh,
right?
Vampire Hunter D is great.
Yeah. To these like newer animes,
Mm-hmm.
And
you kind of skipped like 3 generations of Japanese animation. I know. So the designs are just totally different.
Way different. But I still like some of that older stuff. Like I loved Louis the Rune Soldier. It's more of a comedy. It's written by a guy who loved D&D. Right, so it's like a high
another
fantasy.
one like that too is Record of Lodoss War, one of my favorites.
Oh, Lodoss War is good. Yeah, Lodoss War is good. The same guy who did Louis the Rune Soldier did Slayers.
I love Slayers.
Real popular. Yeah,
Lena Inverse, Gowry.
Yeah, if you like Slayers, you like a Rune Soldier.
I'm gonna have to write that down.
Yeah, Rune Soldier's only like 23 episodes long though. It didn't do as good as Slayers. Slayers got like multiple seasons, right? Like different shows, and remakes.
The Slayers Try.
Yeah, but like Louis the Rune Soldier is more like you could tell that guy just has like a love of D&D.
Oh man, someone else brought up another good one in
high
chat.
Fantasy.
Magic Knight Ray Earth. That was a classic.
Ray Earth, yeah, Ray Earth's a old
Clamp.
Golgo, amazing penis. Thank you, Soul. Yes, because Golgo 13, I don't know if you guys know what that one is, but it's basically he's an assassin for hire, and he's the world's greatest assassin. So he's basically like James Bond. He just goes around murdering people for money and sleeping with women.
Based.
That's what he does.
Based.
And it's got like 50 episodes. It's like a long running with multiple movies too.
I went way back in the chat and somebody was like, why does Lofty say gay so gaily? That's funny. That's the funniest comment ever. It's so gay, guys. Like, seriously, it's such a gay thing to say.
You do that too well. You stop that right now, sir. I've seen your fucking fanboy cosplay. You can't.
Stop it, Spooky. Oh my god. I'm just going to smack you if you don't stop it.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez. What are we doing?
Is this like a South Park bit now?
Yeah. I created a character. I know this is a bit off topic, but I created a character. I'm trying to find somebody to play him for the Magog show. His name is Best Knight Ever, and he's a knight who's very flamboyant. And I love him. I love his
look
character.
At my shoulder. Look at my cape, guys.
But he's actually like what's great though is the character's actually good at being a knight. Like he fucking murders people. Like he's not some flimsy, limp-wristed swordsman. Like he's like, I'm gonna go into the battle.
So he's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna show these boys a thing or two, and he murders everybody. He's like covered in blood, and he's like, look at all this hot, sticky mess all over my armor.
Yeah, he's like Arnold. He's like, I am coming at home. I am coming out in the field of battle. I'm coming everywhere.
Fucking pumping iron interview.
Pumping iron, yeah. I'm coming in the gym. I'm coming at home.
I'm coming all the time.
But speaking of knights and stuff in anime, so we wanted this supposed to be the Isekai episode because if you guys have been reoccurring watchers of the series, you know I fucking hate Isekai. 90%, like 99% of them, I can't fucking stand. But Gator loves them. Magog loves them.
I love Isekai.
And I think
yeah.
Lofty also likes isekais
Now,
too.
wait a minute. I don't want to say love. I have a love-hate relationship with isekai. Because on one hand, some of them have brought me great joy. And on the other hand, some of them are really tropey, boring, fucking useless goddamn characters.
Oh yeah. It's over. It's a cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like battle royale or like, you know what I mean? Like everything's a battle royale now, or everything is whatever the fuck League is. It's like
To be
there's so
fair,
many of those games.
I thought you meant
MOBA.
Battle Royale anime. I'm sorry. I was like, that's more of an early
video games.
2000s thing. I'm
Multiplayer
sorry.
online battle arena, I think, is what MOBA stands for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
like once something gets big, like an isekai, then or a battle royale or like found footage movies, like then everybody starts doing them. It's like, okay, but that doesn't mean the genre sucks because like it gets overdone. Like
God damn it. Frederick and Saul are like my new best friends. They're in the chat talking about Golden Boy. I fucking loved Golden Boy.
We love Golden Boy.
Yes, we do.
Like Golden Boy, like the dub is like still phenomenal. Like
It's so good. The dude who does the voice in the dub for Gold, it's only like 6 episodes, and they couldn't make any more because the manga basically turns into hentai, right? But those 6 episodes are fucking amazing. I love it. I love Golden Boy so much. When she spits at him and he catches it on his tongue, he just goes get crack up every time.
what's the best? What really sold me a Golden Boy was him swimming. And the dub of him swimming, he's like, oh,
Mama. Then he gets to the end, he's like, so how do you like my swimming? Just fucking.
You guys are unlocking core memories here.
I don't even know what that is.
dude, watch Golden Boy. You'd fucking love it, Lofty. It literally looks like the kind of anime I think dude really like because it's only 6 episodes, or if you guys haven't seen it in a long time, it's worth a rewatch. But watch the anime. It's one of the few animes I'm going to recommend. Watch the actual English dub. Because the people who did the English dub had fun with it. And you can't really say that with a whole lot of animes nowadays, but they had fun with it.
I always watch dubs, but that's mostly because I'm also not always watching the screen. I'm always like working on something else or, fucking around on my phone or drawing or whatever, writing script ideas, so I can't just stare at my screen the whole time or I'll miss something, I like to hear the English, because I can understand it even if I'm kind of background watching, But that's just me. It's just a personal choice. I don't want to be made fun of.
To a friend of mine who's dyslexic and he can't watch subs because he can't read that fast. And so
it's hard for him to. Yeah. And the dubs have gotten better. They have.
Yeah.
Like almost consistently across the board. You go back to 90s
depends.
Dubs. You go back to 90s dubs and you're like, oh Jesus, sweet God.
It really depends. Like, so we've had many debates about this, so many talks about it. Like, Funimation used to be like pinnacle of like this is English dub. Like when Funimation owned the rights of One Piece, people lost their goddamn mind. That was so long ago. That had to be like 2008, 9 when they finally got the dubs to it. But the anime community flipped their shit because it was like they were the most true to form, and they had like the most curated, talented group of people to make English dubs, but it's obviously now they're not in business anymore, but it was like the latter years.
Well, I mean, they literally had like all of the A-list voice actors that did like all of the voices that you remember from like every series all together in one roof. And, at the time it was like, oh my God, they basically put together this like A-lister anime voice actor company together. And everybody thought like, oh wow, we're going to get really good dubs and everything's going to be fantastic. At the time they were very faithful to the original content, except for Ghost Stories, which, was an exception to the rule.
It's better they weren't, but it's just like, it really blew like, again, it's like you had to be there, chat. It's like, it blew their minds like anime community when they got the rights to first DBZ, and they dubbed Full Metal. And of course, Full Metal is still like amazing to watch nowadays in English dub. It's like because of Vic's performance in it and everyone's performance. So like when they got the rights of all this anime, they were peak. But now it's just like I don't know. I can't. It really depends. I can't really stand like there's what was it? Oh, I watched Terraformers, and like it was like a 2011 cheesy anime.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that recently in the English dub. That's because it was such like a stupid fucking anime. The English dub that literally made no difference. So it really just depends for me.
I wouldn't have been able to discover most of the animes I watch now if it wasn't for finding this super secret website where you can watch every anime, dub, sub, or American
9
cartoon
anime?
ever made. Ever made? No, not 9. 9's full of fucking ads and malware.
Let me ask you guys, what do you think about what do you think about the I'm trying to phrase this appropriately. The what you just said, going onto a website and watching it for free versus supporting the industry with your money.
It really depends. I mean, like, people do that with movies, people do that with comics. It really depends. It's like,
Yeah.
If it's an anime I like, I go and buy it. But I like to be able to watch it first.
and also, like, if most people, like, so, like, the thing, it's always been true to form is, like, most people binge watch anime. Like, even back in, like, the day when torrenting was first a thing. Like,
right.
So, it's like, do I buy $200 worth of Blu-rays? Or am I, like, a broke inward and I just, like, you know, get it for free? Especially if...
That's another... Yeah, that's another...
You don't even know if the Blu-ray's available overseas, too.
Well, yeah, I'm also talking about, like, Crunchyroll and Netflix and things like that, and Hulu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like supporting them either because they're assholes. So I'd rather watch it free, and if I like it, go buy it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a weird... I just... especially with Netflix, I know they're assholes, but they also put out good content like Edge Runners and Arcane and Dark.
The thing is, it's literally just a question. The thing is, it's literally just a question of like ethical consumerism. And some people will say, well, under capitalism, there is no ethical consumerism. And like there is.
But Vouch is
and
an
it really
idiot.
just depends.
I don't have a problem with people doing that. Just personally, I feel weird just going and stealing everything. Like, I buy my games, I don't emulate anything.
But here's the thing, man.
Have a Netflix subscription because I like what they do, and I don't want them to stop making Arcane. I don't want them to stop making Edge Runners.
But they're not. Because you got to think too, what we're watching. If it's like new, if it like Castlevania, right? Castlevania came out. I still had my Netflix at the time, and I was like, ooh, fucking Castlevania. I grew up playing fucking Simon's Quest and shit, right? So I fucking watched it on Netflix. But an old anime from the 90s, I went to that free website because guess what? It's hard to find. They've already made their money. It's from the fucking 90s. Yeah. Who's going to make any money off of it now anyway? Right? Like they're done, right? Like I like being able to find stuff that's hard to find, but that website has it. You know, I watch a lot of older stuff.
I'm mostly talking about new stuff. Old stuff, I used to go on surrealmovies.com and get a bunch of like old Japanese new wave films from the 60s that have zero distribution in the US, and that like they're, you know, the director is dead, so he doesn't give a shit that I'm stealing his movie. And I would steal it and I would put it up on YouTube for free, and then YouTube shut my channel down because like Janus Films production or something ended up getting the rights to the movie.
Yep.
Like,
and they claimed it.
Yeah. So I don't care about that. I used to do that all the time. I would put free old, like, you know, Russian films and shit on my YouTube channel for free because there's no distribution. You can't find it anywhere.
But I get what you're saying, man. Yeah, I get what you're saying. If I come across an anime that's new and I watch it on my free website and I really fucking enjoy it, in order to overcome my guilt for basically watching it for free, if it's something I truly, really love, I'll go and buy it. Like, I bought Konosuba. I fucking love Konosuba.
Yes, thank you.
I love both fucking seasons and the movie. I bought them because I love it so fucking much.
That's hard to do, though. It's only, you got to be very picky these days with how much, where you spend your money on. I mean, like, you can't buy every anime. It's just impossible.
I'm not, like, made of money either. And streaming services don't have all the animes, too. Some, like Crunchyroll, has rights to some. Amazon has rights to others. Fucking H-Dive has, you know, High Dive has rights to others, you know,
I'm just seeing a lot of
H-Dive is a different thing, sorry.
I'm seeing a lot of people, not a lot, but I'm just seeing sometimes I get like weird weirded out by some people who just are entitled and they think that everything should be free. And I'm just like, how do you think the world works if everything's what's like socialism? It's like, well, what are you what are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense to me how like a company can, make product and not expect to make money off it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
that's how I feel about film too.
Yeah.
I'm a big movie guy, and I'm like, good guys, if you think Hollywood's shit right now, if you think they're making bad movies and you want to support good content like Top Gun, go watch Top Gun in theaters. Give them your money, because they're going to be like, oh, people want to see this. Okay, look how much money it made, $1.5 billion. If you do that, right, if you actually go to the theater, make, it contribute to that kind of culture, they're going to get more shit like that. That's why I was depressed when The Northman made $70 million at the box office. I was like, that movie is so fucking good, but nobody went to see it. And then now everybody's complaining. Everybody's complaining. They're like,
I rented it.
Well, that's fine. I mean, but like, because the DVD sales made up for this the box office failure. But you can't complain that Hollywood doesn't make original content, and then when an original thing comes out like The Northman, and then you don't go see it, like it's kind of your fault. Like,
look, this is why everybody needs to go
Marvel
see
movies.
Cocaine Bear. Okay, if you want more Cocaine Bear, you've got to go to the movie theater and watch Cocaine Bear.
But people are doing that, Lofty. Like,
Top
Gun Maverick made like $2 billion, bro. Top Gun Maverick did really well. Like, lot.
But that and Avatar are mega epic blockbuster stuff. Like, I mean, unless that's all you want to care about. I'm talking about like original movies, like Infinity Pool, or The Northman, or Knock at the Cabin, M. Night Shyamalan. Like, I guess if all you care about is pop culture, then yes, go see Top Gun and Avatar, because those two are shitting all over Marvel right now.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man's getting destroyed. Ant-Man's getting destroyed by Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is always happened. Some of these lower movies, they don't get as much distribution. People don't hear from them. Like, I love Northman. I love Robert Eggers films, right? I fucking love them. I love The Lighthouse. I love The Witch, right? Yeah. But you know how many people I know have never heard of them? Never even heard that movie came out. It's marketing, too. Marketing.
And those same people are like, helps. Hollywood doesn't make any good movies. Hollywood doesn't make any good... Well, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't even watch good movies. It's your fault. Hollywood makes a lot of good movies. I just watched Infinity Pool. I just watched The Whale last night with Brendan Fraser. It's an amazing movie.
Well, it kind of sounds like education, too. It's like these people aren't educated in, like, movies in general. And then, like... They're the kind of people. I was talking to Mark After Dark, actually. He went to go see The Witch in theaters, and because they were speaking this old English dialect, it was kind of hard to understand. Oh, hi, Weibo, by the way. She's another co-host of ours.
Oh, hey, Weibo.
Yeah, The Witch had original Puritan dialect.
Yeah, so it was a little... I had to put on, subtitles, so I could understand fully what they were understanding. The theater is not going to have that unless you request it specifically. But... a lot of people got fucking mad where Mark was at. And you know what? Excuse me. I'm dying. They threw a bitch fit. They threw it. They got mad that they couldn't understand the dialect.
It's weird.
And they got fucking screamy and angry. And then those are the kind of people that are going to write reviews and not recommend it to people because they can't fucking handle a unique piece of art. And a lot of people, I would say most people are like that. Cannot mentally handle a unique piece of art and don't care to look out for them.
But your argument too that people are saying, "Oh, Hollywood doesn't make good movies," but they don't know these movies exist. That's not true either. Most people aren't saying Hollywood doesn't make good movies. What they're saying is Hollywood is turning our childhood franchises into bad movies. That's what everybody's pissed about. Fucking Marvel sucks. Star Wars sucks. Star Trek sucks. Fucking Indiana Jones is ruined. Ghostbusters 2016. Don't even get me fucking started.
Yeah,
right.
They're destroying the childhood nostalgia stuff. That's true. But also so many fucking people are saying that they haven't watched a movie since 2015, or Hollywood doesn't make any good movies anymore. Hollywood can't do dialogue anymore. They're making these blanket statements. I see it all the time. I disagree. I think that's a common perspective among people who talk about Hollywood.
Like these people are also NPCs. Lofty, you understand? You know how many people can't imagine an apple in their head? They can't.
Look, I don't care if somebody's not a movie person. I'm just saying, if you're, because I don't want to sound like a snob. I was just like, if you're not a movie person, you're more into video games, then I don't expect you to go watch weird movies. It doesn't. I'm just saying, is somewhat of some sort of a weird hypocrisy going on where people are like, Hollywood hasn't made a good movie in 10 years, and it's just like, well, you're just kind of ignorant. It's an ignorant statement.
They're harder
these
to
people are
find.
I
ignorant.
see it everywhere.
Yeah, but that once again, that's Hollywood not marketing their products properly. Because it all comes from Hollywood. Yes, Hollywood's still the biggest creator of film, whether it's Marvel, Disney bullshit, or low end stuff. Doesn't matter. There are good movies out there. The blanket statement is that the bulk of this movies that people are seeing have been, increasingly worse over time. Like everybody started liking Marvel, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then Endgame happened. And after Endgame, it started going downhill. And we're seeing these trends. People are refusing to spend their money. It's just taking a little time to, because you said it yourself.
You know what?
If you want to see better stuff, don't support this crap that's coming out, right? You said that. It's starting to happen. Okay, it is. It's just going to be slow. It's got to reach the normies, right? The fans, the hardcore fans, they're already ignoring it. But the normies are starting to wake up to it. Ant-Man was beat by Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Right? Ant-Man,
Or like that Megan movie came out, even though I think that had like a big backing behind it. Like that came out, and that made, what was it, #1 in January? Like the hardest month to like make a profit in the whole year.
But Megan, I don't know. I didn't like Megan's kind of a normie horror movie.
That's the thing. It's like it's different enough to where these people can easily consume a lot. But I mean, the thing is, Lofty, most people are like consumers. Like they're just NPCs. They just turn on Netflix and they just whatever comes up on their homepage is what they'll watch. It's like, and they're not educated enough to like look into like art, and they don't give a shit about art.
But Dune did pretty well. Avatar did well. Top Gun. I think we're turning a corner. Here's what I'll say about Marvel. The problem with Marvel is I like some Marvel, but the issue is, look, how many Marvel movies? What, 27 or something? 30?
Yeah, plus TV shows.
Think about this. Yeah. Before Marvel existed, we've had 30 Marvel movies in the past like 10 years, okay? 35 if you count the show, maybe 40. We would have, instead of Marvel, right? Just imagine if Marvel didn't exist, we would have like 40 other original fucking movies that, you know what I mean? Like we're depriving people of fun, original, cool content, and we're replacing that gap with Marvel movies. And it seems like they're making, like, Hollywood is just making worse movies because they kind of are. But it's more that Marvel is monopolizing the Hollywood budget and like the how much money they spend and how many scripts get made every year. All that's, you know what I mean?
But it's like Marvel's they're just following market trends. Marvel did really well for so many years that they want to milk that cash cow, and that's what they're going to do.
Right.
That's why franchises are so big, because they make a lot of money. These tentpole movies that are based on some previous IP that everybody fucking loves, that's what they think everybody wants right now, because they've been doing really well. But they're going to start slowly not doing well because people are tired of it.
Remember when people got sick of like cape shit in like the early 2000s, because early 2000s was like edgy cape shit, and then people got sick of it, and then there was no cape shit in like the late 20s, 2000s. Like that's when you start seeing more of the Marvel mainstream stuff like really go into like octane.
Yeah, and then I mean, now everybody's sick of it again. But
they still go and consume it, though. It's like that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
but you can't stop people from doing that.
Avatar is a good example of an original movie, like franchise, that did really fucking well at the box office. That isn't a superhero movie, like, and Top Gun. Except Top Gun's also a kind of a reboot sequel kind of thing. But Avatar's its own story. It's an original story. I mean, it's a sequel of Avatar, but it's not Marvel, it's not DC, you know? Why don't we have more of those movies? I know James Cameron's a genius, but I don't know.
It's also because nobody wants to, because a lot of the original stuff, even if it's like a big tent, like obviously Northman and stuff, Robert Eggers films are very artistic and stylized, and they're for a specific crowd. But look back on like the Alien franchise. We've got just a lot of stinkers over the years, so they just stopped making them. You know, Prometheus started it off, and then you had Alien Covenant, then you had that fucking fucking terrible Predator movie with the autistic kid in it, you know? Like, and it's like, Jesus Christ, just do something good already. Fuck.
Maybe that's why I love Avatar so much, because it's just breaking. It's different. It's not fucking Jurassic Park or a Candyman remake or Venom sequel or MCU, DC, Matrix 4. Like, all these things are just fucking they're just cash grabs for like nostalgia.
Well, yeah, it's a thing also, like, so the thing that's more valuable than people's money is their time. So like people don't want to feel like they're wasting their time, because a lot of people feel like, oh, if I watch, do I risk like watching this art house film that maybe is a horror flick, maybe I'll understand it, maybe I won't, the next A24 experience, or do I go and like, even though that's getting really tropey now too, like, or do I watch the next Marvel movie? I'm like, oh, it's okay, because like most Marvel movies, they're like okay, like, to be honest, like they're just they're okay,
They're cookie cutter.
And a lot of and there's also another cancer that is like movie reviewers, as we all know. Like, a lot of people like who review movies are just like, oh, I consumed this movie for 2 hours, so you didn't have to. So they'd rather watch like a 15-minute review of like the latest movie and be like, okay, well that was enough for me, and not do that and play like a video game or something.
True.
And also, video games are like worth a lot more money than movies are too. So that's just
I appreciate some movie reviewers watching this garbage for me, though. Like, I'm one of those guys that I like to judge for myself. So even if I hear a review that's bad, I still, if I have the time or I'm feeling up for it on a Saturday night, I'll watch it. But things like Velma, I was like, I'm happy just listening to this other guy bleed through the eyes. Right? Like,
my favorite Velma review was Moist Critical. His was amazing. He was like, I'll watch it for you guys so you don't have to. I'll watch it. It was garbage, ass, trash. I love his fucking voice. It's funny.
Yeah. Fucking Johnny Law's great too. If you've never heard Johnny Law reviews, he's fucking great.
But I only watch movie reviews after I watch the movie, because I want to hear people discuss the movie. That's like what I enjoy. Personally. But I think most people are just, they're not like that. And they don't like to risk their time. I mean, like, people's times are very valuable too. And like I said, like, would you rather spend 2 hours like watching a movie that you may not like, or playing a fucking video game?
Well, you can always turn a bad movie off though too. That's the thing. I never understood, like, that was 2 hours a waste of my time. You know, the theater doors aren't locked, right? Like, you know how many movies I was just like, well, this is bullshit. I just walked out.
I'm gonna go get a refill of popcorn and Coke, and I'm out.
Yeah, no shit. Like, I typically don't like to walk out of movies or turn movies off because I'm a completionist. But sometimes you watch something that's just so bad, you know, like I just can't do it, and I'm turning it off. I can't fucking do this. Like, I can't do it.
And Frankenberry brought up Red Letter Media. Well, they watch like B movies and stuff like that, and they're like, their commentary is so like, you know, charming and relatable. Like, it literally feels like that parasocial relationship where you're hanging out with like 4 guys watching bad movies. That's what they really sell you on. Not so much because they're what was it? Their reviews are actually like an hour long. They're almost as long as most movies.
That depends. They do. They sometimes they just do their sitting in a chair. You know, like, you know. They do their like best of the worst, and those are hours long. They'll get a guest on. They'll do like gimmicks and stuff.
But then the same thing.
Yeah.
Half in the bag.
Red Letter Media, half in the bag. They do some of the Red Letter Media stuff ain't as long, 30 minutes, you know, stuff like that. But Jay from Red Letter Media summed up what Lofty's been talking about: consume product and wait for next product.
Yeah, it's
Jay
NPC
said
brands.
that. Yeah,
it's like.
It's the Hollywood sludge pipe. Just sit there and open your mouth and fucking eat it.
Endless trash.
Which is funny because, like, you know, the internet, like, we were all hoping when the internet first became a thing, we realized, like, oh, you have the AVGNs of the world of, like, holy shit, you can make money off of this thing. We knew, like, there'd be, like, projects that could potentially come from this kind of thing, but we just haven't been seeing it as often as we really should.
It's a bigger disappointment since my son.
Ryan Johnson.
Look, I also don't think it's wrong for somebody to like a popular movie. Like, just because you like Avatar doesn't mean you're a normie. Just because you like, do you know how many? If I've heard that a million times. Oh, the normies boosted Avatar's box office numbers. It's like, well, if normies were so influential at the box office, then every normie movie would hit $1 billion. It's not just the normies that pushed the Avatar 2 to 2.3 billion dollars. It's everybody. I know a lot of like super duper cinephile people who like Avatar for various reasons. It's not just normies, but like, you know, and then the new Mario movie. Like, I love Mario. I think that movie looks amazing. And it's kind of a normie, you know, bait movie.
Sure.
But I'm going to go and fucking like it.
But so much is member berries.
It's not black and white. It's not black and white, what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I just like good film, whether it's a popular tentpole movie, a blockbuster, or a little artistic. Like you brought up Lofty, and you know, we got to talk about isekai anime. We got off the rails here, but I will bring this up. You bring up the, you know, your love of like Robert Eggers films and stuff like that. I highly recommend, if you like stuff like that, I highly recommend a TV miniseries on Netflix called Midnight Mass.
I love it. It's my favorite thing on Netflix.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm also a vampire junkie, and like the acting, what's his face? He should have fucking won the Emmy for that, but
How do you feel about Twilight?
Hermish something? Oh,
yeah,
Twilight. I don't like Twilight.
You don't like Twilight?
Nobody fucking
I'm not a fan.
Little girls like Twilight.
I like Interview with the Vampire. I like romantic kind of spiritual.
The original Interview with the Vampire was Kino.
Oh, fucking AMC ruined Interview, and now they've done the Mayfair Witches. It's coming out with Alexandria Daddario in it, and I'm like, no, they've ruined Interview, and now they're doing the fucking Mayfair Witches.
Flanagan. Yeah, Mike Flanagan is doing the Dark Tower. Okay, he's remaking it. He did Midnight Mass. He did Haunting of Hill House. He's a fantastic director. I'm excited
if they let him do what he does.
I know, but the other Dark Tower movie was so terrible. Now I like that book, but I just think I trust him. And then now we have Del Toro, who's I'm kind of going out of tangent, but Del Toro's doing Frankenstein. Okay, so these are going to be Netflix is going to just explode. I think over the next couple of years with really good content.
They better, because they've been losing money.
Yeah,
every other service
with Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, it's not been good.
Oh, everybody's losing.
Oh, fucking Warner Brothers. God, their last quarter was like, they're negative like 2.9 billion.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, did we have any super chats that came in?
Yeah, we do. Iron Wolf Spear for $5 said Star Wars has been pretty gay before that kiss. I disagree. I like Star Wars.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like the new ones.
It was a little incestuous with the Leia Luke kiss.
Yeah, and then Anakin's like, I don't like sand. It gets everywhere. That's kind of gay.
That's the worst romantic dialogue I've ever heard.
That's kind of a gay line.
Like George Lucas does not know how to write romance. My God, that's the worst. I hated the prequels. People are like, well, now that the new Star Wars from Disney's out and it's bad, I bet the prequels look great too. No, they don't. They're still bad.
Yeah, it's like every time a new thing comes out, they're like, "Oh, this makes the prequels look so much better." I'm just like, can we be like, can we not do that? Can we not like retroactively pretend we like something more because the new thing sucks?
Because now it's older, so it's better. No, I'm sorry. No, the prequels.
Have you guys not experienced Jar Jar Banks? That was.
Yeah, I'll die on that fucking hill. People are like, "Oh, come on, man! Prequels weren't that bad. Fuck you."
The Naboo politics of Phantom Menace was such a disaster for me. I hate it. I can't stand it. Anything with the Naboo and the whole first movie is just a babysitter simulator. They're just like, we got to follow Anakin around. Nothing good about it. I hate it.
Oh, we got to keep Jar Jar from killing himself.
Except the ending. No, I'm sorry. The fight, the Obi-Wan Darth Maul fight's legendary, but that's it.
Spyron Guard's got it right. There are only two good Star Wars movies, New Hope and Empire. I'm okay with Jedi, but the two best Star Wars movies ever are the first one and
Revenge
Empire.
of the Sith is decent, but it's not great.
Only because it's only because of the big badass, fight at the end with Anakin getting all burned up and fucked up and dropped into lava.
Cool scenes.
And all the memes that came from it. Hello there.
Sure.
Hello there, General Grievous.
Anakin, I have the high ground. It's over.
It's over. You sound just like him. That's good, man.
We're supposed to.
You do good, Ewan McGregor.
You're supposed to do Isekai, but also is there any more super chats?
Yeah.
Is
Iron
that-
Wolf Spear for $5 again said, "You guys fell for it." JK said, "Quote: They don't need the wands because they can't afford it." Oh.
Oh dear God.
Oh no.
But they,
And,
they live out in Africa. There's plenty of sticks they can make
Well,
shift into wands, right?
If they have magic, they can just like all you need is the materials to make a wand. You don't need money necessarily.
Can we get a new Live Aid to get wands to Africa? Use some necromancy to resurrect Freddie Mercury? Like, can we do a
in
new
the
Live
Daily
Aid?
Prophet. You see these poor African wizards and witches? They need your help.
Can we get another massive concert in London?
For just 5 shillings a day, you too can provide a young African wizard with a wand.
Yeah. You see like an African wizard with like flies on his face.
Yes.
And he's Leviosa! 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 They won't go away.
Walk into an Ethiopian village and they're like, "You fly on it." What's a fucking broom? What is this white guy saying? I don't know what this is.
What is this madman saying? I do not understand.
I can make a really bad joke about being able to read spells before you learn them, but I'm not gonna go there. That'd be rude.
Oh no.
I wasn't making fun of Africa. I was making fun of the tropes of the African donation commercials.
Oh, I was going there.
Yeah,
Spooky was gonna go there. We weren't gonna go there.
No, not me. I never fight Nappy where she comes from. Okay, I'm very culturally, aware. Was that all the super chats?
We got one more from Giancarlo Reyes, 250 pesos, says, "Anime Boomer's Gang's opinion on Leiji Matsumoto and his works." So that would be the author of Galaxy Express 999, Harlock Saga. He also did work for Daft Punk, their Secret of the Interstellar Star System, Interstellar 555. I love
the only one I
everything
saw
he's
was
ever done.
Harlock.
Captain Harlock. Yeah.
I've only ever seen Harlock.
Queen Emeraldus.
I'm very choosy about my anime, so I don't know if I belong on this show or not. Because I'm very particular.
No, that's great.
fine.
We love that.
I haven't seen them all. I'm not and people who grew up with like Dragon Ball, that was kind of after my time. Like I was a kid.
Wow.
I was a kid in the 80s and early 90s. So the closest thing to Japanese anime I grew up with as a kid was like not even anime. It was like Power Rangers. I grew up on American cartoons that were good though. Like I grew up on X-Men. I could still hum that fucking theme song. Yeah. I grew up on shit like that, and I loved, even though Disney owns it, I fucking loved Gargoyles. That was one of my favorites when I was a kid, Gargoyles.
I'm honestly surprised they haven't tried to bring it back, because Gargoyles was the shit.
Dude, they could, if they live action that shit with like giant CGI monster gargoyles, I'd be like, I know it's Disney, but I'll go see it.
Yeah, I would drop money for that. Holy shit.
I'd fucking drop hell yeah, I'd go and see that shit. They might ruin it though, like they did fucking Willow. Don't even get me started. That's why I was I was on Drinker's channel talking about Willow, because I grew up with Willow. Willow's my favorite high fantasy film of all time. And I fucking love Willow, and they ruined it. The Willow TV show is awful.
That sucks.
That's a shame.
Oh, it's terrible. There's like tie-dye t-shirts.
I used to watch... Did anyone watch Zoids?
Bad.
Zoids?
Oh, God,
I like Zoids.
I loved it.
Zoids. Sure,
I grew up every day before school, 6:30 in the morning. I'd wake up, watch Zoids. I think I would also watch, what was it?
Transformers.
Pokemon.
Wait, how old are you, Lofty? If you don't mind me asking.
33.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's just slightly
age
younger
as
than
Flamenco.
Wait, how old is everybody?
I'm 35.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm fucking pushing 40 over here.
Well, for me, like I said, for me, it was before school was Zoids. It was Gargoyles. I think He-Man occasionally. Pokemon. What the fuck else was on? BattleBots. Do you remember that show?
Oh yeah, BattleBots. I liked the Spider-Man cartoon as well, and Batman. The Batman animated series. Whoa!
Oh,
awesome.
It was so good.
Fucking
It took
amazing.
the aesthetic from the movie and brought it to animation, and they had like it was so stylized and awesome looking that it just it felt like Batman.
It's like it was dark and gritty, but they wanted to do like a film noir of the original Batman comics back in the detective days, right?
Yeah.
Because like all the bad guys are wearing like fedoras and trench coats. They use Tommy guns, and it's like, but it's also they got technology and phones and stuff. It's such a bizarre kind of mixture of
the juxtaposition
timelines. Yeah. It's like, well, he has like a supercomputer in the Batcave, but everybody's running around with Tommy guns and going, yeah, see, you don't talk to me like that. It's such a bizarre little like time.
We gotta get Commissioner Gordon out of the picture, see.
Yeah. I fucking loved it though. I love that Batman
amazing. That was just such a good time for cartoons.
Oh yeah. And I did watch the Batman Beyond that happened like in the future, right? Bruce Wayne's all old. And he's like takes on a new Batman protege who's got like a
Terry McGinnis,
super sophisticated suit. I liked Batman Beyond. It was great.
It kept the same feel, but instead of being like the the 20s mobster style, it went to cyberpunk instead.
And
it didn't miss a beat.
Oh, it was great. And even the fucking theme song, what was it? The theme song was like Static X. Yeah, it was fucking Static X did the theme song to that fucking show. It was awesome. It was like that edgy 90s angsty teenager fucking music, right? That everybody loved in the 90s.
Hit the spot. That's what it did.
Fuck yeah. Anyway, isekais.
Yeah, we were talking about isekais. You brought up Konosuba. I love Konosuba.
Yeah, God's blessing on this wonderful world. I love it because it's a parody of the isekai genre, but also showing respect for the isekai genre.
Right. It's not like it's not a mean-spirited parody.
It never crosses the line into hatred, right?
Yeah, it goes through all of the different silly tropes and then just makes fun of them just a little bit, but they're laughing with it, not at it.
Well, that and even though it's tropey, they take the tropes and they kind of make it part of the world.
Yeah, like
so
Megumin's entire village, they're all
they're all like super wizards and shit, but they put on like light shows using their magic. The tourists are gonna love this, like huge explosions in the background and shit, But yeah, I love Konosuba. It's probably my favorite isekai as far as the genre, right? Like not my favorite anime, but it's definitely up there with my favorite comedy anime, right?
Oh, it's fantastic.
But I also recognize why Spooky doesn't like isekais, and it's mostly because most isekais are kind of like a male power fantasy. Right?
Yeah, it's made for degenerate fucking Japanese men who have no lives, who think, God, if I just killed myself, everything would solve itself.
No, Spooky.
Trucker-kun, release me from this mortal coil. I must have a harem of big, beautiful, bountiful breasts and elf girls.
Yeah. See, all my life issues would go away if I just killed myself.
What's funny is
Don't do
the
that,
voice
please.
you're doing. The only Japanese people who talk like that are fucking like Yakuza.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny you were saying that because I was thinking of the protagonist from Yakuza while I was saying that.
Yeah. No, he's a Chaz. Like, he can do whatever he wants. Like the main protagonist from Yakuza 1, he could get tons of pussy. He just chooses not to. Right?
I hate that trope.
He's a vol cell.
I hate that trope in all animes. It's not just isekai. Where like this guy is like surrounded by beautiful women and he doesn't do shit. He doesn't make a move. He just gets nosebleeds and freaks out. And it's like, geez, just man, like if I was in the like jobless reincarnation, all them bitches be fucking pregnant if it were me. Like what are you doing, man? Shoot your shot already.
But that's how these guys, like, this is how they would actually react when they have the nosebleeds. But they would like be super. They're like it's made for people that are intimidated by women, and it really fucking
people can't
shows.
Talk to girls.
Yeah, they're scary.
Yeah.
I don't.
What do you think of Shield Hero? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. It was kind of fun at the beginning, and then like what was it? It was when they introduced the slave girl's friend that just came out of nowhere. I just like, I'm bored with this.
I liked parts of Shield Hero because everybody likes to see Princess Melty get her fucking comeuppance, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I hate that giant fucking talking chicken. So on one hand, I want to see the evil bitch get her comeuppance, but on the other hand, that giant chicken makes me want to punch the fucking TV. Okay?
It's not the only one that I liked was it's not an isekai technically. It's like a fantasy. But again, like they overlap so much that I kind of in my brain they like live in the same space. Like fantasy, modern day fantasy animes and isekais.
Well, that's because they're oftentimes by the same animation studio, so they look very similar. Like,
they just like presented the same, like similar too, because it almost doesn't matter because it's like all it is like this person leaving their past life and this is their new life. Well, their new life's in a fantasy realm. Well, it doesn't really matter that much in a character who grew up in a fantasy realm. It's just like it's just the fact that they took away they weren't a Japanese salaryman like on his way out.
Yeah, I mean what makes it an isekai, because technically isekai just means other world, right? So technically anything that takes place in another world is an isekai. It doesn't necessarily have to involve reincarnation.
Alice in Wonderland's technically one too.
Yeah, but if you open that up, then almost anything can be an isekai. Like fucking Cowboy Bebop takes place on other planets. That could be an isekai. So isekai is specifically people who are like died or transported to another world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Right.
Yeah, that is an isekai. That is
definitely an isekai. I still have a theory to this day that them fucking 3 kids died. They were fucking dead. There was no wardrobe. That was like God's light pulling them to the afterlife.
So
there's fucking Santa Claus there, there's like people with goat legs. It's the fucking afterlife. I'm sorry.
But the only one that I've really had any full entertainment from, and it's like entertainment for the most fucked up way possible. I've talked about this before, chat. It's the redo of Healer. Technically not an isekai, just a fantasy, but still, it's like
redo of Healer. I like to call rape.
It's just rape.
That's all I call it.
Cue the Alex Jones gif where he's just like slamming the desk and saying it over and over again.
But yeah, like the other world stuff, transported either via like a video game simulation or death or resurrection or just transported there. Isekai is that specific genre. As far as the tropes and stuff, a lot of the tropes of isekai overlap with tropes that exist in other anime genres, so I don't know why there's such a hatred for it. Because I've seen it in other shows too.
I think I think what popularized this whole genre was honestly SAO. I think life was just different before SAO, but SAO is such a bad anime though that for whatever reason it really just encapsulated like a whole
I will say that I think the very beginning of Sword Art was really good, and then it just immediately falls off a cliff.
I don't understand the second season. Like, I watched the first season, I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting. Then I watched the second season, and he's freed from the video game that almost murdered him, right? Like, all these people were trapped, and if they took the gear off, they died, right? So he had to be in a hospital and all this and that. He immediately jumps into another, like, full dive MMO game, and I'm like, I'm sorry, no. After years of being trapped in a video game, that kid probably would never even turn on a fucking television again.
People were bringing up Dot Hack, but you see, Dot Hack didn't
was
start
the
like
originator, but it wasn't the one that like made it super popular.
Oh, Hack, yeah.
I love Dot Hack.
The high fantasy. Yeah, high fantasy tropes. Like, I think another one that involved like a video game being trapped in another world was
Log Horizon.
Log Horizon and Overlord. Both had video game.
Overlord.
Overlord's the ultimate male power fantasy.
Yes, it absolutely is.
I love Iron Zulgon.
Still haven't seen Slime. I need to watch Slime.
Lord of Nazarick.
Gator loves
I need to
Slime.
watch him.
I love Tensura. I just want to get my buddy Undoomed to say, I am Ein Zulgon. Just once. I just want him to say that just once.
Guys, I love Ray Zero. I don't give a fuck what you say. That's one of my
Re-
favorite animes.
I like
love
ReZero.
it. Love it. Love
Okay,
it.
okay,
I think
okay,
it's
Lofty.
brilliant.
All right, okay, here.
I
ReZero
just think
is
it's
great.
a genius. Like,
It's
I think the
great.
writer is very very good.
Here's
and
the
the way
thing with
he-
ReZero,
the way
though.
he-
It's
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, what I like about it is the same reason why I like Attack on Titan is that the setup, I don't know what the mangaka's name is. I guess he wrote the light novels, but the setup is so he had to think so fucking far ahead to like make all this shit make sense like 4 seasons down the road. I don't know how the fuck anybody writes this shit. It's like the way everything like layers and like collapses in on itself with all of the times he resets the universe, and then like, you know what I mean? It's just it's almost genius in my opinion. That's just how I see it.
It's Groundhog's Day
Yes.
with a lot of fucking blood and terrible tragedy, you know. But I agree with you. ReZero is an excellent, an excellent example of the genre. But I have to be in the mood for it because it's so heavy. It is so heavy and depressing. Like, it is the shit that man
Always in
goes
the mood
through.
for that.
Yeah, it's like, holy crap. Sometimes I just want to laugh, which is why I love Konosuba, but I'm a comedian. I like stuff that makes me laugh, you know. So it's one of those things where I have to really be in the mood for it. But I do love some of the arcs. My favorite arc in ReZero is the giant whale, that big creepy fish thing that they have to like hunt down and stop. And it's like, that's a great arc, man. That giant fucking fish.
Yeah.
It's so creepy when it comes out of the fog and there's just a giant eyeball next
staring
to the convoy. Yeah, it's like this giant eye comes out of the mist, and it's like, oh, I would have shit myself. That's some like eldritch H.P. Lovecraft shit there, man.
Well, speaking of H.P. Lovecraft or eldritch horror shit, is when episode 15 when he's standing in the snow and his head just falls off, and then there's like this creature that rises above the castle. That shot is so fucking gothic and horrifying. And the music, they don't even do the credits at the end of that episode. It's just straight up like a really beautiful song. Yeah,
right?
It's wild.
Yeah.
He's like,
I mean,
geese.
A lot of my favorite animes, though, like kind of borderline isekai, like Spooky said, they're not like somebody transported to another world, but they are high fantasy. I don't care what anybody says. I don't give a shit if you guys judge me. I am a huge fan of fucking Goblin Slayer. I love
Goblin Slayer.
I love his armor. I love how cool he is. He's like the John Wick. Like, when I first watched it, I was like, man, some goblins must have killed his puppy. Because he is just fucking single-minded, you know?
The only good goblins are the ones that never come out of their stinking holes.
Yeah, I love that. When he kills that ogre, and he's like, you would waste such power on mere goblins? He's like, you're nothing. Goblins are way worse than you. Like, that's how single-minded he is. He doesn't even care about these other, like, demonic monsters in the realm.
Do you have any jobs about killing goblins?
Yeah, I love that trope. And I do love the whole, like, Judge Dredd thing, where he never takes off his helmet. You know, like, and even when he does, the camera never shows his face, right? Like, even if other characters in the show see his face, the audience never does. So you can he's kind of like the vicarious character, right? The audience gets to vicariously displace themselves onto that character. And it's
Every time I think of Goblin Slayer, I just think of Mother's Basement overanalyzing the first rape scene.
Well, I thought that was I actually thought that was really tastefully done, considering, you know.
This motherfucker, you've never seen the Mother's Basement.
Yeah, considering this, yeah.
Like, this dude, he does it frame by frame of like, you can see the girl's tit and the side of her butt. This is hypersexual during a rape scene because you can see her clothes being ripped off.
Well, it's a fucking rape scene, so
yeah. But it's like, it was the most disgusting like thing to try to justify a sexy rape scene I've ever seen. It's like, did you get off to this rape scene, Mother's Basement? Is this what you
it's Mother's Basement, so I mean, obviously he did.
But the whole point of that scene was, and the reason they did it in the very first episode wasn't just shock value, it was to establish how bad the goblins are. These are the bad guys. They do bad things. Go figure. Antagonists do antagonistic things. You know? Like, God forbid an antagonist does something evil. I hate this fucking trope these days where people are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you know, I don't like my bad guys to be too complex."
Can't
and
make
too-
my bad guys rapists. Like one of
Yeah.
the worst things you can be.
I want villains that I can understand. Fuck you, they're villains.
Yeah, it's like complaining about Frieza. It's like he's too genocidal. It's like what the fuck? He's talking about the point of his character.
Duh.
Yeah. Or Walter White. It's like, oh, Walter, we're not supposed to empathize with Walter White. You know
Well,
what? That's what makes
you
him
know
cool
what?
because he's kind of fucking
first-
fucked up.
The
And he's
first
not
time
like
that I'm sorry, Lofty. I mean,
Oh no,
you.
I'm just like I just don't like. I like black and white characters, but I like gray characters, and I like
them all.
villains that have somewhat of a sympathetic perspective. I just like.
Well, the thing is like these people. You can tell these people really just like all they do is like masturbate while reading AO3 novels of like the villain fucking them. Like that's their perspective of like a villain. It's like, have you never been around like sociopaths? Have you never been around psychopaths? These motherfuckers don't have feelings. They're not actual people. So like the fact that you want to write a villain as like somebody that doesn't have the same feelings as you, kind of like it makes sense, right? Like they're not supposed to be viewed as like almost human-like. They're supposed to be these like horrendous creatures. Like
it
For
it
you, the
depends on
day that
story you're
Frieza
telling.
graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for
I'll
me,
tell you what.
it was merely Tuesday.
I'll tell you what I found the most
Street
bullshit.
Fighter.
The thing that really blackpilled me was like during Game of Thrones airing, and it was a scene where I forget the name, the redhead's name, the Stark redhead. She gets raped.
Sansa Stark. Yeah.
And that actually had a huge backlash on Twitter from feminists, be like, why do we have to depict this like teenager getting raped on scene when they don't even show anything? They show the guy's ass, but like that's it. They don't actually show anything about her specifically. They're like, why do we have to show this like girl getting raped? It's like, do you forget the fact that these people got murdered like by the second or third episode or something? Like, why is that where you draw the line? Like all this horrible shit's happened to these characters, and this is where you draw the line? Is a rape scene? Like, do you not know anything about the Middle Ages? Like, come on.
Yeah, but they don't have a problem with depicting the brutality of slavery over and over and over and over again.
It's true.
Somehow they have a problem with the rape scenes in Game of Thrones.
Well, they're only okay with depicting slavery if the slaves eventually get freed by some benevolent white person.
Yeah. That's why Tarantino is based. Tarantino's just like,
fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna have
a black guy who's a villain, a white guy who's a villain, and the black guy's even more fucked up. And like Samuel Jackson's character was even more fucked up than
in Django,
DiCaprio's character in Django.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna have a white guy and a black guy both be the good guys also. And it's just like that's an awesome movie. It's like yeah. It's not pandering to anybody.
But it depends on what story you're trying to tell. I like sympathetic villains or empathetic villains sometimes too. Thanos, right? Yeah. For that story, it worked because he wasn't just some throwaway bad guy. This was the main guy, right? This was the big bad. Like it was good character development. But in Goblin Slayer, I don't need to sympathize with goblins. I just want to see Goblin Slayer murder fucking goblins. That's the point. It's like watching John Wick once again. I just want to see him fuck up a bunch of people. That's the whole point of watching John Wick, you know.
And to add to that point about Thanos, too, he came at the end of a bunch of literal one-note villains who had literally like no motivation other than I don't like superhero guy. I'm going to beat superhero guy. Oh no!
Conquer the Earth.
Conquer the Earth, and then oh no, superhero guy beat me. I'm probably dead at the end of this movie if I'm a Phase 1 villain.
That's why I like most of my favorite Marvel movies were the ones that involve villains that weren't that. Like fucking Captain America, Winter Soldier. And was just like a spy movie, right? With like the Hydra had infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. and all this and that. And then you had like Captain America Civil War. It was just a guy who wanted to tear the Avengers apart. He was just a guy, right? He was just a fucking guy with a good plan, Those are my favorite Marvel movies because they didn't do the big throwaway CGI monster man, right?
True.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Be nice if they would get back to that, but I think we're lost in the weeds on that now.
A little bit, yeah. Especially with the TV shows. See, Marvel expanded too quickly too. They were like, we're going to go to TV, we're going to go to streaming service, we're going to put out She-Hulk and Loki and WandaVision, and everybody's just like, what the fuck is that? Now I have to watch all this crap just to get the references in these new movies coming out. It's like if you watched the latest, Doctor Strange movie without watching WandaVision, you wouldn't know what the fuck was going on with Wanda. You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
So now you have to sit through this crappy TV show just to understand the new movies coming out because they're all linked,
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, though, the expectation is that, like, everybody knows that. It's like, if they, I feel like, I understand, I know what you're saying, but, like, everybody should already know this at this point. It's not like they're surprising people. And you're either in or you're out. It's like, you're either on board or you're not at this point, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's going to eventually lose them some
unless they do, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. Are they going to reboot? Unless they bring in the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and have their own standalone like storylines, then people can jump into those and then start from there. I think they can do that. That's
you want to know what my grand theory of this is?
Yeah.
So I come from the comic book side. I think you do too, Lofty. So you'll get this. I think what they're gearing up for, and they've already hinted at this in the Doctor Strange movie, is they're gearing up for an incursion. And what I think they're going to go for is I think they're going to go for the comic book solution, which is rather than like destroy one universe or the other, I think they're going to end up merging universes.
Like
and that
Wars?
will be like Secret Wars. And I think that will be a soft reboot where they'll have a new universe, a new unified universe where they can start
with
over
X-Men.
Fresh with the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, new actors and actresses, and just kind of continue on like with the same canon, but because it's a new universe, they can do everything different now.
And it's all because Disney bought Fox, and Fox owned the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four and a few others. Right.
Yeah.
Like the Bryan Singer films, Deadpool, all of those are
I just don't think you need to do that. I think we have that you're right about that because the mutants don't exist. Maybe they do need to do a merging. Yeah.
They would have to introduce the X-Men. They would have to because you can't explain the mutants and the whole civil rights issues and stuff if they just were always there, just nobody brought them up until now.
Yeah.
Like going all the way back to Robert Downey Jr.'s first Iron Man film, there were mutants? No. You can't do that. They're going to either have to do a complete reboot, just end it all on try to end it all on a high note and say goodbye to all the current actors, or they're going to have to merge the multiverse and do some sort of strange, merging of two timelines or something.
Well, they already introduced the Illuminati in, they could bring some of those characters into the new merging universe.
Well, that's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to, by merging all the continuities together in the incursion or whatever, I think they're going to end up like bringing all of these different threads. So like, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Inhumans, some of the more like obscure teams and other stuff that Marvel has access to. They're just going to kind of bring them all together into the fold, into this like new unified universe. And I think that's when they're going to go around and start like recasting all the actors and actresses.
Yeah, they're going to have to. People get old. People get tired of playing the same roles over and over again. That kind of stuff happens. And people are tired of seeing the degradation of the characters. Like I was talking to a friend of mine the other night, and he just hates what they've done with Thor. Just made him a buffoon. The butt of every joke. He's more of a comedian because Chris Hemsworth loves being funny, right? And it's like, no, I want to see Thor like bashing people's fucking faces in with his hammer. Like that's what I want to see, right? And people are tired of it now. Like Thor: Love and Thunder didn't do as well as the studio hoped. It did well enough, but it was terrible. Taika Waititi is not popular right now. No. And as far as the DC side, don't even get started. I don't know what the fuck's going on over there. Jesus.
I don't think they know either.
I don't know. Let's bring in James Gunn. He's the only one who had a semi-popular fucking movie, that goddamn Suicide Squad. It's like was it a soft reboot because it had some of the actors from the first Suicide Squad, but they didn't have Will Smith.
Everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
They even brought back Michael
I saw the
Keaton.
trailer. Yeah, I saw the trailer with Michael Keaton and stuff, and I don't care. DC just refuses to make a movie about my favorite superhero, so I don't fucking care. Because to this day, I'm just never gonna get to see Power Girl's big ass fucking boobies on the fucking screen.
Oh god, could you imagine like a modern day them trying to make Power Girl and how bad that would be? Like for starters, she'd just be completely flat chested.
Yeah,
she'd be a lesbian.
She wouldn't have the boob window. She would, like what was funny about Power Girl is
one side of her head would be completely shaved.
Right. The guy who created Power Girl, he wanted to sell comic books to teenagers. Go figure, right? Teenage boys, right? But DC cared so little about the character they gave him to draw and write comic books for that he kept making her boobs bigger each issue until they noticed. He wanted to see how long it would take the editors to notice how big her boobs are getting. And it was like 60 issues before somebody was like, how big are her tits? Like, what's going on here?
That's amazing.
He just kept drawing them a little bit bigger each time until somebody fucking noticed.
He finally said something like, man, those honkers are getting pretty big. What you doing there, buddy?
Because he was convinced the editors didn't give a shit about the artists and writers. Like they were just because back then you got to think too, comic books, especially the golden age of comic books, working in that industry, you were like a slave. Like
I've heard some stories from Ethan Van Sciver about that.
Yeah, you're just in a cubicle, just drawing panels all day, and for like slave wages, and you get that industry needs a renaissance as well as not just Hollywood, but the comic book industry needs a renaissance too. That's why a lot of individual projects, Kickstarter comic books and stuff are doing really well because because of social media, they're reaching people and people love these independent artists and stuff creating comic books that aren't all fucked up like these modern day DC Marvel comic books.
Yeah, I'm friends with a lot of the guys that are doing the Kickstarter comics and stuff, the Comicsgate guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and they're still doing really well.
And
like John Freepia just raised like $35,000 in 2 days.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That was incredible.
Yeah, 3PO. Yep. Yeah, congratulations on him.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. Like that's what I love about small creators. Like I'm a creator. I love having a little small audience that just loves what I do and supports me the best they can and watches my videos. And I love that. I don't have to be like super famous. You don't have to always support the mainstream Hollywood stuff. That being said, I'm also not going to judge people for watching what they want to watch. If you want to go watch the new Marvel movie, go fucking watch the new Marvel. I'm not going to, at the end of the day, if you like it, you like it. Just don't expect me to.
That's the bottom line. Because then you're becoming like the left. It's like you're finding. I'm
not going to gatekeep.
Content.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like I've heard it. I've gotten this from people on the right. It's like it's like woke. This is problematic content now. As the people on the right are saying this now. I'm just like, what the fuck? It's now like woke shit's problematic, and if you watch it, you're complicit.
You're toxic.
It's like, what are we talking about?
even though I agree, the whole in quotations woke thing is ruining some franchises that I've loved since I was a kid. I'm not going to sit here and gatekeep, right? That's wrong.
Right, because a lot of us watch it so that we can talk about why it's bad or just be able to have a conversation about it. It's like, it's not because we support it necessarily. And going to see Avatar twice in theaters just because it's owned by Disney doesn't mean I support Disney. Like, fuck that argument. That's a stupid argument. Yeah, I just want to see it I want to see it in IMAX. Like that, I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't give a fuck what anybody else. I'm not gonna stay home and like miss out on like seeing Avatar 2 in IMAX, which it was amazing.
However,
like other people,
I will say this: Spooky is the exception. I mean, because she verbally abuses me when I bring up Isekai.
You deserve it.
she is verbally abusive. I'm coming out on your stream right now and saying I'm a victim of Spooky's verbal harassments just because I like Isekai.
Well, take a number here. I think everyone else has really gotten my verbal abuse from time to time. I've called Lofti Nefsler. I've called Gator Nefsler. I'm calling everyone around here an F slur.
That's true. Spooky
I'm
is
just
very
a
mean.
bully.
Yeah. I think she's just a mean-spirited.
She's like one of those anime bully girls, but in real life.
Yeah, she's a. What do they call them? The angry women that. Oh
The
God,
angry woman.
There's like a. It's a trope that has its own.
Tsundere?
Japanese word.
Tsundere.
Tsundere. Yeah, Tsundere. Yeah,
Tsundere.
Yeah. She has spiders in her vagina, and it makes her angry.
Ew.
Spiders in my
fucking
vagina?
vagina's not a tube.
It's
Are
more
you
likely
kidding me?
than you think.
Yeah, I remember watching this new Isekai. I'd never heard of it before, and I clicked on it. And the very first episode, I was like, "Oh, this kind of looks lighthearted." You know, the main character has like the big armor. He's got this cute little pet, and it's like it's going to be like a lighthearted Isekai. And I watched it, and the very first episode, right off the bat, rape. Just rape.
Just like, surprise!
Surprise! It was called Skeleton Knight in Another World. It was about a guy who played a video game and his avatar was a skeleton. And so when he woke up in this new world, he was a skeleton in this big, massive armor. Kind of like a... But he's the good guy. He's like the opposite of Overlord. He's like a holy Templar knight who had a curse put on him that turned him into an undead. But he does good things. And the very first episode, there's just these bandits, like, about to rape this chick. Just tearing her clothes off, and she's like pissing herself, and I was like, what the hell? Like, what did I sign up for? I was not expecting that, because from the box art, it just looked like a nice kind of throwaway isekai, you know, one of those. I'd never even really heard of it. Ooh boy. So if you guys watch Skeleton Knight, just be prepared for that opening scene.
It sounds like that PS1 game, except there's no rape in the PS1 game about like a skeleton knight. And he's just kind of cursed like that.
Yeah, what the hell is that called? Dark not dark. Wait, dark, no.
No, it doesn't have
Owl?
dark in it. Skeleton Knight game, PS1.
Oh, Shovel Knight? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Medieval.
Medieval.
Oh, is that the Capcom game? Is it Goblin?
Yeah, Medieval. It's like capital
Medieval?
EVIL. Yeah. War Game
Okay.
put it in the chat. Yeah. Darth Geese says Arcus just good guy Ainz. Yeah, he is. Because the main character in Skeleton Knight Isekai, his name is Ark, which fucks me up because I have a character on my show named Ark. Well, his name's Arcturus, played by Director Arcater, the YouTuber channel, but we all call him Ark for short. So, it's funny enough, anime is the only genre of film or TV show or movie that I've ever found that had my last name in it. There was a crappy isekai that nobody liked, but it had my last name in it, and I was like, "What the hell?" And everybody knows my last name because I put it in my end credits because I was doxxed years ago, so I don't care if people know my real name. But there was an isekai called it was called Wise Man's Grandchild. It was basically about Merlin, who had a grandson, and the grandson was one of these like transplants from Japan, but he was also like transplanted into a baby, so he grew up in the world, even though he had memories from Japan. He also grew up in the world, and his name was Wolford. And it's spelled exactly like my name too. It's like,
oh wow,
this is the only time I've ever seen my name in a movie, TV show, anywhere. It's the only time I've ever seen my name in a movie. And yeah, apparently Merlin's last name is Wolford because his grandson's last name is Wolford too. I was like, what the fuck? So every time I watch the anime dub and they say the name, I like look up. I'm like, what? But at the end of the day, it kind of sucks because that anime shit.
It wasn't very good, unfortunately.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. It's one of those where it suffers from the trope of the main character being too OP. Way too OP. Just basically nothing's difficult for him. He's surrounded by beautiful women.
Characters that look exactly the same as the next anime guy, but he's somehow super overpowered and covered in anime pussy. It's my favorite.
Just the worst of all the tropes is those tropes there. It happens all the time, you know. In Another World with smartphone, Death March, Rhapsody, like all of those, they're just like OP characters that look generic and surrounded by women and just can do everything perfectly, you know. nothing ever really is a challenge, you know. I think that's the culture, right? Like isekais play to that nerd aesthetic in Japan.
Yeah, the Mary Sue, the Gary Sue, the whole like, I'm literally like a bland personality you can self-insert into.
Now, Overlord is OP, but what makes Overlord interesting isn't the fact that he's super strong. It's the fact that he's kind of the bad guy of this story, and he's surrounded by all these like really evil entities. You know?
Yeah.
And he's just trying to be a good overlord while in his head he's like this 16-year-old gamer, you know?
And then, but like Ray Zero kind of subverts that whole thing. It's like he thinks it's based at first until he realizes he's severely handicapped by the Groundhog's Day fucking shit.
Yeah, I love
and
it.
And then it becomes depressing. It's like nobody would want to, even though like there's so many waifus in that show. Like I don't think a single person would actually volunteer to be in his position.
No, I would never. You couldn't pay me to go to that world. Like I love the Isekai quartet when like Konosuba, you know, like fucking Kazuma shows up and he's talking about how terrible the other worlds are and how bad it is, and the Subaru from ReZero is just looking at him like, you have no fucking idea, man. Like, you have no fucking idea.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I don't know if anybody's ever seen Isekai Quartet, but it's kind of the chibi kind of cutesy. Like, let's take all these Isekai characters, put them in high school together. You know,
it's a lot of
fun.
There's
like Overlord. Yeah, it's cute and whimsical, but it's funny if you know the jokes. If you've watched all these, if you've watched Tanya the Evil, if you've watched Overlord, if you've watched ReZero and Konosuba, if you've watched all of them, and you'll get the jokes, and it's funnier than if you go into it cold, right?
Yeah, Tanya the Evil is like an isekai that you don't think of it like a typical isekai. There's literally like a little girl Hitler. So like
the only reason I can't watch, because I like to watch dubs, and it's hard for me to watch Tanya because she's voiced by Monica Rial.
Monica Rial, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, God, I hate that bitch.
Look, I don't know. I don't feel the same way. I can't stand Steve Blum, but I fucking love his Spike Spiegel.
Yeah, I can separate, for the most part, I can separate the art from the artist. I can do that. It's just sometimes it's difficult because she has such a unique voice.
Some people might say Little Girl Hitler was the perfect cast for Monica Rial.
Yeah, it could be perfect role for her. And I can put up with it in things like My Hero because she plays Froppy and she doesn't have that many, like, she's not in every episode necessarily, doesn't have
Carol.
She's not one of the main. She is a main, but like a secondary.
That's because My Hero doesn't give a shit about any of its characters except like the main fucking 3 or 4 characters. Yeah, My Hero.
Deku,
I don't like My Hero. I'm sick. I got sick of it. Apparently it's really good now, but I stopped watching it because it took like 60 episodes for like almost anything interesting.
Oh man, you got out at the best part. Like it gets really dark and
but that's
fucked up.
I know.
But that's why I like it too. I like long running seasons because I can turn them on and put them on a playlist, and I can just sit here like I can work.
Yeah, but compared to like Demon Slayer like gets to the point in like 12 episodes, you're like, holy fucking shit, this shit's crazy. And then Academia is just like, oh my god, we're 50 episodes in, they're still talking about like going to a festival at like the school, and like I'm just like, come on.
And the difference is because of the studios.
Yeah, that's a shonen anime specifically that just like, you know, like
Slayer is shonen.
Well, that's the thing. It's like,
and so is Attack on Titan. Yeah,
it really depends. It depends on the shonen, but like that's a really common shonen trope. Yeah. The thing is like when you get the coveted shonen jump, that's like that's a full-time gig, and that's like something that a lot of these people, that's what they dream on doing. And so like, do I sacrifice my integrity as an artist just to write a complete story, or do I like keep this fucking job that I've literally worked my ass off to keep?
I mean, tropes. There's only one anime I've ever watched that had no tropes in it whatsoever, and so I highly recommend watching High School DxD. There's no tropes. It's completely original. There's absolutely no tropes in that one. Just take my word for it and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like my other criticism with Academia is like they have so many characters and they barely do anything with the characters. I think the Frog Girl had like one episode dedicated to her, and then that's it.
Two or three. No, I mean,
maybe later on. Yeah.
Yeah, later on in the seasons, they start expanding out, showing some of the other characters going off to their work studies and doing different things. But it's also when you have a mega cast like that, you can't help but do that. Some characters are just going to be sidelined, and I mean, look at the high fantasy. Look at the high fantasy version of My Hero Academia. It's a show called Black Clover.
Yes.
176 episodes, and it's basically Black Clover is basically medieval high fantasy My Hero Academia, right? It's about a kid who has no magic, just like Midoriya is born with no superpowers, and he goes off to want to be a magic knight, aka superhero. And it's like, dude, even in the English dub, the captain of the Black Bulls is voiced by the same guy who voices fucking All Might.
Black Clover, I can't even watch the Japanese dub, let alone the English one, because that guy
Is it all the screaming? Yeah, the screaming.
It's just nonstop screaming, and it's like nails on a chalkboard. I can't watch it.
You know, when we went to Anime Con, it was like this in 2019 and 2023. I think Gator can vouch for me. Well, even Lofty too went to the same con. So many teenage girls are obsessed with like the girl that can use blood.
Yes.
Blood
Yeah,
power.
Toga.
Yeah, they're like obsessed with her.
Yep.
Oh, Toga. Yeah. Toga's the tsundere.
Yeah, she's a yandere. Right? She's a full yandere.
Yandere.
She kind of wants to. She wants to hurt you.
They're just like edgy teenage edgy teenage girls are into her because they're just like, oh, she's so cool. She uses blood.
Yep. But we went through that in the 90s too. I had the whole goth phase and everything. Like everybody, when they're young, kind of goes through that rebellious, angsty, phase. I just did it in a different way. I read a lot of Anne Rice and brooded and became an artist. That's what I did in high school. I wore a lot of black. Listen to heavy metal.
I watched a lot of Tarantino and David Lynch, and that was my kind of like weird edgy phase.
Right.
I got really into heavy metal too.
Well, I graduated from super heavy metal when I was angsty to melodic symphonic metal. So I still love my heavy metal, but nowadays I really like things like Nightwish,
Epica,
fucking Epica, Camelot.
Yeah,
I fucking love that shit, dude. I love symphonic heavy metal, bro.
Same.
I just feel like as a culture, as an American culture, I think we went through like a really just edgy phase through the early 2000s, like consistently. Like I think that was just like everything was edgy back in the day too.
Everybody talks about their anime waifu. My waifu is Sharon Dell from Within Temptation.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
So hot. Want to grab the hiney.
It reminds me of Jim Carrey in a Liar Liar. He's like the chick gets on the elevator. He's like, "You got big jugs," and because he can't lie. So he's like, "You got big jugs," and he's like, "Oh, I mean, your boobs are huge." He's like, "Oh shit, I mean, I want to squeeze them." He keeps getting worse and worse. Yeah.
The quote I was quoting an Adam Sandler movie, the one where he has to go, Billy Madison, where he's like, hot, want to touch the Heidi. his fucking teacher is like banging hot. I love it. Adam Sandler movies have like consistently gotten worse over the years, but those movies back in his heyday when he was at his peak, man, they are so funny, especially when he has Chris Farley with him and the whole SNL cast and stuff, like Billy Madison when Chris Farley takes his fucking shirt off and he's like, "You are correct," and he fucking pulls his fucking shirt off. I don't know why, man, but those goofy ass fucking stoner movies for Adam Sandler used to do, man, they are still to this day. They're some of the funniest shit. They really are.
Tommy Boy.
Yeah, Tommy Boy. Love those SNL era. Before SNL really.
Well, Adam Sandler's doing like drama. So he does, he's not doing comedy anymore. He's doing like Hustlers was really good. Uncut Gems is amazing.
Yeah, he's trying new things. Somebody in the chat. I can't read your fucking name. Alfarius Omega.
Tara
Tara Turenin.
Tarja.
She's the Is it pronounced Tarja?
I've always pronounced it that way. It's probably wrong. It's probably Tarha or Tarja.
I thought it was Tara because she's like Scandinavian, so the J is like silent, but like Bjorn, with a YH sound. But yeah, she's the first singer for Nightwish. Now the new singer, I mean, don't get me wrong, I got nothing against Annette Olson, but fucking Floor. Oh my God, Floor Jensen. Have you guys ever done a deep dive on YouTube of all these people reacting to Nightwish singing Ghost Love Score live with Floor Jensen? People in the comments are like, "You've just experienced a floorgasm." Like, she is that good. She is so good. Like,
I haven't seen these videos, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, all these like people who've never heard of Nightwish, and then they get, they do these channels where they react to music, right? They're very popular, right? And so then they take submissions from their comment section, and people were like, "Ghost Love Score, Walk-In 2018 or whatever it was," and it's like, just watch it, and they watch it and react, and they start crying. I love seeing like the rappers, guys who only listen to rap, and then they'll get like Nightwish recommended, and they'll be on there, be like, "Yo, this is dope. This is fucking dope, bro." I love watching those reactions. It's so funny.
I'm gonna have to check that out because that sounds amazing.
Yeah, if you've never seen reaction, I love reaction music channels, like people like vocalists reacting to singers. Like one of them I watched, she's like an Irish, like redhead, really pretty, and she's a vocal coach, right? So she knows how to sing. She's classically trained. And so somebody recommended to her watch the live performance of Tool singing Sober in 1996. And it's the one when Maynard James Keenan comes out on stage in that pink onesie, and he's all like hunched over singing the fucking song. And she keeps pausing it going, "There's no way this man should be able to hit those notes. He's all, like, posture is everything in singing. How is he doing this?" She was like blown away. She couldn't figure out how he was sounding so good. It's like, because it's Maynard James fucking Keenan. That's why. You
should watch. Have you ever seen anyone react to Dimash, the Kazakhstani singer?
Oh yeah.
That guy's the best singer of all time. Like, it's unbelievable what he can do with his range.
Oh, dude,
it's ridiculous.
The fucking vocal coach reacting to this new guy on Twitter. He's been around for about a year. His name's Jeff Castellucci. He is the deepest bass voice I've ever heard.
Wow.
And he's like a skinny ass white boy, right? And he does all these covers in his deep bass voice. And it'll, like, if you have a subwoofer, it'll shake your house. Like, that's how deep his voice is. It's crazy. He does these great old songs like 16 Tons, Big Bad John, Ghost Riders in the Sky. And it's so good. And all these vocal coaches are like reacting to him going, "I just creamed my panties." Just, like, I watched this one vocal coach, a female, and she just kept having to pause the video going, I can't do it. I can't. His voice is just making me shake. Imagine being able to drop panties with your voice. That's awesome. Jeff Castellucci, check it out. It's spelled the old way, though. It's like Geoff. Like Joffrey, almost.
Like Joffrey, yeah.
But just Joff. It's like Jeff Castellucci. He's got like a super deep bassy voice. Yeah, I've been down those rabbit holes, man. If you guys go down the React rabbit holes, you'll see some fun videos.
I like watching the composers react to anime music, like anime soundtracks.
Yeah. That's great.
There's like they're cool. Like they'll play like, or not just anime but video game. Like they'll play like Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy, or like I don't know, there's lots of anime like Attack on Titan, and then they'll be like a straight up or traditional composer or like musician, and then they're shocked at how good some of this music is.
Edge of Dawn is an absolute banger. I love that song.
Oh yeah, I mean, God Shattering Star, was that the Fire Emblem one that like everyone like? I think it's called God Shattering Star. It's like one of the most amazing pieces of music in like all the video games.
This one tiny little anime that only got 12 episodes had the best opening song I've heard in an anime. And it's so
Lofty,
opposite.
You're echoing really bad.
Fuck, sorry.
Yeah, I can hear myself. But it's it's so opposite of what the show's about. Like the show is dark and depressing, but the music is so great. And it's called Death Parade, the name of the anime. And
Yeah.
it's basic. Yeah, Death Parade has one of the best opening themes I've ever heard in an anime. But then you watch the show and you're like, I'm gonna cry. This is fucking depressing. Jesus.
I like the Made in Abyss soundtrack. I think it's amazing.
Oh, that's not a bad one. I like that one. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's
Beautiful music. Oh,
yeah,
You
yeah.
want-
That one's. You know. Oh, I haven't yet. I need to catch up on it.
it's even better somehow than season 1. It's great.
Yeah, but have you guys listened to Tim Follin? Old NES music. Like, the most hard NES music you'll ever fucking hear is Tim Follin, Follin. Like, look up Tim Follin Pictionary. It's got a million views.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to go, but
Yep, I was just about to wrap up because Lofty's also got to go.
Are you? Okay, so well, I just want to wrap up since we're talking about anime, and I know we got sidetracked a lot because this is a great group and we've had some good conversations. Sorry if I interrupted you guys. I sometimes do that. My bad. But I will end it with probably my favorite anime outside of the isekai genre because I highly recommend it. I'm surprised how many people have never heard of it. It's so good. It's so stylized. The art is amazing. It's called Blood Blockade Battlefront.
I haven't actually heard of that.
Yeah, if you like vampires, you'll definitely like it. But it is such a strange story. New York has been swallowed when this abyss opened, and now it has been rebuilt as Hell Salem's Lot. And New York is closed off, and it's now a mixture of humans and like demonic creatures from the underworld living together, all in a city.
Oh, have you? But people have been chatting, suggesting this. I need to say it. But have you seen Interspecies Reviewers, Magog?
Oh, of course. I saw the
What do you take him for?
I saw the controversy and was like, I gotta check this out. And I watched a couple episodes. I was like, I get it. Yeah. Now I understand. But yes, Blood Blockade Battlefront. I'm so sad it only got 2 seasons. I haven't heard anything about a new season yet. But man, is it fucking amazing. It's so great. It's such a weird kind of, I don't know, I want to call it like neo cyberpunk kind of thing with magic. It's Shadowrun, you know, like it's so fucking bizarre. I love it. If you've never seen Blood Blockade Battlefront, please check it out. It's pretty fucking cool.
I have added that to my list. I'm definitely going to check that out. Still have to finish Key the Metal Idol. I'm on like the last episode.
Keto Metal Island? Keto? Like
Key the Metal Idol.
Oh. Okay.
I'm on the last episode of that. I still need to finish it.
Penny is Starking also Garva has a great dub. Yeah, but it also has Monica Rial. I think she voices Panty, right? I think
Yes.
so. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, I heard about that one. I've never seen it though.
Penny and Stocking's fucking great. Like, did you watch a bunch of Powerpuff or
No,
growing up?
no. That was after my time.
Gennady
too.
Tartakovsky.
It's really based off of like Powerpuff and what was it? Drawn Together. They watched about like these fucking animators,
Interesting.
these Japanese animators were watching a bunch of like Genndy Tartakovsky stuff because they're like a fan of his, but they were also watching Drawn Together, and they really like just trashy like adult cartoons that were in the West. So they tried like making the anime equivalent to that.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. That's a strange combination.
And then the angels are basically like huge sluts, and then like they introduce the devil girls later, and they're like Ruru's standards, and they're like super like
pious and stuff.
Right, yeah.
guys-
Except they also dress like strippers.
And also like the Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt it's made by the soundtrack is made by Teddy Lloyd, which also he created Me. But he's like an amazing DJ. Like he's fucking great with his job. Like everyone needs to like thoroughly listen to that. We should get somebody who's really good at music. Oh, we should get Camelot on because he's familiar with music and just talk about fucking like music
Yeah,
all the
Camelot
time.
and
I don't know,
Justin
Lofty,
Wang.
Are you into music too?
Not really. I'm kind of very
Oh,
picky with my music.
I see. Yeah, we should.
Real quick, Gator, I'm gonna send you. Can I send you anything? Can I message you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can post it in general chat or just DM me.
I think we're friends, or I can at least DM you, right?
Yeah, since we're in the same server.
Have you ever seen this meme? Nope, something failed. I can post it I'll post it in the chat here. Which one?
Just put in general chat. That works.
General chat? Where's that? There it is. Yeah. I hope it's not. Have you ever seen this meme floating around on the internet? It's from an anime that shows like the glowing crotch.
Yeah, I just saw that pop up today.
Yeah, that's from Blood Blockade Battlefront.
Is it really?
That scene there. Yeah, he defeats he's like a slob and he's a lazy bum, but this one girl, like, he's been stalking this girl, and then she calls her friend, and her friend's like, no, he's busy at the moment fighting this vampire. I don't think he can come to the phone. And he just hears it and instantly kills the vampire, and it shows his crotch glowing because he's like been trying to hook up with this girl for fucking everybody.
That's amazing.
It's like as soon as he hears she's on the phone, he just fucking murders this vampire, and fucking his crotch is glowing. And so people been using that as a meme. Anytime like some chick posts like a hot picture of herself, people post that image.
That's amazing. Yeah, I saw that literally pop up today. I was like, what is this from?
Yeah, that's for Blood Blockade Battlefront. I don't know if you could show the audience it or not, but that's a meme from that anime I recommended.
Yeah, I can pull it up here.
Yeah.
There we go. That's amazing.
His fucking body temperature in his crotch is all the way to 38°C.
That's a hot cock if I've ever seen one.
It's such a fun show. It really is. It does have its like really dark moments though. If you like ReZero, there's fun moments, but then there's those real kind of dark, get in your head moments. So be prepared for that.
All right, well, I think that just about does it. We've been going for about 2 hours, 26 minutes. It's about 7:36. I know that Lofty's got to go somewhere. You've got to go somewhere, Magog. So I'll just go ahead and kind of put this one in a neat little bow here. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Of course, if you're listening to this on the podcast feed, we stream this live on youtube.com/thegatorgamer. You can go directly to gatortime.live to catch those episodes when they air. But
of course, subscribe to Anime Boomers though, because we'd rather be streaming on Anime Boomers.
We would rather be streaming on Anime Boomers. I'm actually going to post that link in the chat there. We are almost to 1,000 subscribers on that channel. That's youtube.com/Anime Boomers or /@Anime Boomers. Either one works. We're at like 850-ish something subscribers. We're trying to get to 1,000 because once we get to 1,000, then we can take super chats on that channel, and then there's not as much of a reason to do it here, where unfortunately we don't have enough Franzia to give Susan. Of course, Susan's now gone, but channel is deboosted, shadow banned, like all the bad terms for YouTube's algorithm hates us is basically true. I was making content during the internet blood sports era, and YouTube didn't like that very much. So I'm a naughty boy. I'm blacklisted. I'm on the bad boy list.
You're black, aren't you?
Apparently, according to YouTube. So I'm in the naughty sphere. So YouTube doesn't like to promote my content as much, which is the whole purpose of getting the other channel. So that's youtube.com/Anime Boomers or youtube.com/@Anime Boomers. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple, whatever podcast feed, or you can go directly to anchor.fm/Anime Boomers and you can find us there. We're everywhere. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/thegatorgamer. We have a couple bonus episodes. We're hoping to do more and some like community stuff going forward. We haven't really pushed it that much because we really haven't had the time to do it. But my goal is to carve out some time to like actually be able to interact with people more, talk with people more. Like I said, I'm going to be streaming some more. Twitch.tv/thegatorgamer. The Destiny 2 expansion's coming out. Lightfall. So look for that sometime next week. I'm going to be trying to do more content going forward, because I feel like I've left this stuff to kind of stagnate, and so people are kind of popping in and popping out, and YouTube is like, oh, you're not using this channel, you don't need these subscribers anyway. So I need to actually like start maintaining some level of content so YouTube stops like, you know, popping 10 subscribers off like every other week. Oh, that was a mouthful. So patreon.com/thegatorgamer, you can become a YouTube member. Either way, it works. We have a Discord where you can talk to us, ask us questions, ask us anime recommendations, tell us that our taste in anime is shit and you hate it. Either way, interactions with chat are always the best. Well, I think that's it for me. You know, we've got, now that I've got my Twitter account back, I can do some more booking. I have DMs with a lot of interesting people, so hopefully we can get some interesting guests. I know we've talked about, I mean, just mentioned like Justin Wang the other day. Ken Ashcorp's
Justin
another one.
me.
Yeah, he follows Spooky too.
He follows everybody. That dude gets around, if you know what I'm saying.
I love his stuff though. He's
fantastic.
Yeah.
I met him IRL, partied with him. He's a super nice guy, super chill.
I love his curly mustache. He reminds me of an Asian Guy Fawkes.
He kind of does, doesn't he? He's got that look on him. He's very short too. He's shorter than me.
I used to joke
He's a
with
small
him on
bean.
Twitter. Remember this November 5th.
I think that's the best note to end it on. So, once again, want to thank everybody for tuning in. Oh yeah, we gotta shill your stuff, Magog.
Oh, you don't have to do that. I just appreciate coming on and having a good conversation. But if you want to check out my stuff, you can go over to Wicked Guild.
Wicked Guild.
That's true.
YouTube.com/Wicked Guild.
Yep, Wicked Guild. I used to be Magog of Morskar, but I changed the channel name to be more, I don't know, something people could spell.
I did
Googleable.
Definitely mistype Morskar once or twice.
Yeah, it's harder to find Magog of Morskar, but easier to find Wicked Guild. And if you like to see a crazy fat guy dress up like a wizard and make fun of shit, go ahead and check that out. And check out SideQuest, our live stream.
Yep, that is every Friday at
7 p.m. Central Time.
7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern on Wicked Guild, SideQuest, and Spooky's in that, and so is Michelle.
Yep. Well, Michelle hasn't been on in a while, but she's off doing some stuff. But
off doing Michelle things.
Yeah, but we got some. It's always open for her to come back when she wants to, and we've got some great cast members over there besides Spooky. So we have fun.
I'm the best. I was the most popular one last night, or the other night. I'll have you know.
Yeah, that was a great show. We had some good laughs. That show. We're just a bunch of goofballs that play dress up and make fun of each other. It's just fun.
All right, Lofty, shill your stuff too.
I just have a YouTube channel, so it's just Lofti Pixels, YouTube.com.
You also got your Twitter account back.
Oh, I did. So yeah, Lofty Pixels on Twitter.
Nice.
Aren't you guys fucking lucky?
Finally,
I know.
Exiles have
Fuckers.
returned. Yes.
I had so many. I was pissed off because I had so many DMs. Like you were talking about networking, I had so many DMs lined up with people and projects and things, and it just went away. And I was like, oh, now I can't talk to any of these people anymore. I was pissed off. Then I got my Twitter back. Now I'm fine again. Now I'm
nobody likes you. Everyone wants to believe you're like, ugh, Lofty. I can't talk to that guy. He dresses up like a girl.
No, now I'm doing kind of similar to what you guys are doing on my channel. Weekly, I'm doing a guest a week. I had Melanie Mack, then I had Charles Bastard last week. Next week or Tuesday, sometime this week, I'm having Drunk 3 go on to do his comic thing. Talk about that.
Man, Charles would be a fun guest.
You and Keto have been pumping out pumping out content too.
Yeah, I work for Kino Corner. By the way, that I definitely recommend everybody go check out the Kino Corner if you like movies, because he's like the most base channel on YouTube.
Yeah, he's a good friend of the show.
Mark. Yeah, he knows everybody. What the fuck?
Yeah, he's been on here before.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he just put all of his extra experience pointing to charisma and just gets around, knows everybody.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what I try to do too, a little bit, because I know a lot of people in politics, and I know a lot of people in this kind of the thing, like, streaming and stuff. So I'm using that to my advantage. I'm just
Somebody in
going to have a bunch of guests. Yeah.
Somebody in chat got really horny because I said Lofty dresses up like a girl. So, like, Lofty, you have to explain yourself.
You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. That's
My curiosity.
DiCaprio meme. No, I didn't know it was a girl. It was Link. Oh, speaking of Link, Femboys is trending on Twitter.
Oh no.
It is. Yep. I don't know.
Dear God.
I cosplay as Link from Breath of the Wild, but no, that's anyway.
That's a Flashcast meme.
Yeah, that's true. No, but
Look at the above meme.
Yeah. I want to go to Matsuri again. That was fun.
We plan on being there next year.
That was fun. Yep.
Well, I mean, this year. I guess it's this year now.
I would go, but I'm busy doing literally anything else.
Fair enough.
I'm joking. I'll try.
You dress like a girl in your own home. You wear a fucking cloak and a cape that covers everything.
God damn it, I'm old school.
Up your boobs.
I keep my shit in my own house, damn it. I don't put it on other people.
Look, Lofty dressing up like a girl, he made it everyone else's problem, okay? He got fucking stepped on by Ricada, dressed like a girl.
Yep. Yeah, then somebody like photobombed me as a furry, and now everybody thinks I'm a furry. Oh, it's so bad. But anyway, that's why I'm a VTuber now.
Imagine when we're in our 60s and 70s looking back on these glorious days.
It's gonna be fun.
Let me tell you, grandchild, the time I dressed up like a girl and I had a big-nosed lawyer step on me at an anime convention.
And then I became a VTuber. And
do I get to shit my stuff?
God.
Absolutely, Spooky.
No. Go ahead.
No? Okay. So I'm working on a next big project. Some of you may already know. It's Bam Margera, and I have most of the timeline done. I haven't written the actual story, but the thing is he keeps tard raging every day, and keeps embarrassing himself every day because Bam's a raging alcoholic. I know you guys are new to that kind of situation. Never heard about that. So I'm having trouble pinpointing exactly where to end the actual video, but I guess it's gonna be a recurring thing. But yeah, that's my next big project I'm working on. So,
and where can they find that at?
It's at the Spooky Weep Trash channel.
YouTube.com/Spooky Weep Trash.
Weep Trash accessories. Yeah. Actually, my Aaron video has been doing really fucking good. Actually, it's like if you type in Aaron Hansen in the search bar on YouTube, it's the third video.
Wow, very nice.
It's right underneath his channel, yeah.
I did voices in that one.
You did.
You can hear me screaming.
So did Lofty.
Yeah, he did.
Did a voiceover. That was fun.
Yeah, you got really passionate about it because you were talking about Black Lives Mattering, and I really appreciate it.
Yes, I did get passionate. Yeah, I treated it like a voice acting gig. Come on.
It was I felt like you got the wimpiness of the people actually saying it, but also them trying to sound passionate, but also pandering. I think that you nailed the role, Lofty. I think you got it. Anyway, that's it.
All right. Yep, that's it, everybody. Once again, we will see you next time.